It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All righty, welcome back aboard. Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the loose cannon at the switches. Boys, good to see you.
It's great to see you, man. I hope you're feeling pretty good. I tell you what, over here on my side of things today, the pollen that's in the air has me in an absolute chokehold today. My allergies are on one. I don't think you don't have heavy allergies, do you? You deal with any of this stuff?
I'm allergic to kind of working hard and that kind of thing.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Me too. I'm on that same wavelength with you. But today, my nose is absolutely killing me. My eyes hurt. Like everything from my nose up is just on fire right now. And so if you have allergies, you know what I'm talking about. There's just certain days to where the pollen is just going to hit you and choke slam you through the mat like The Undertaker. So that's where I'm at. But you know what? Jordan had the flu game. I'm going to have the allergy show, baby. Let's cook.
So when
Jordan was a constant presence during our interview.
Not that Jordan. So two things.
Yeah.
One, whenever I hear the word pollen, all I think about is the YouTube clip of the reporter who's in some country town, and he has some bug flying in his mouth while he's doing the stand-up.
Yeah.
And he just completely changes into a different guy. Get me out of here, this country, you know what, like.
The mask slipped. His mask
bugs
slipped
flying in my face. Pollen, and he just drops a pollen.
I feel him, man.
Like, pollen was ranked, I think, on his list of bad things that just happened to him. It was something flew into his mouth, and then the pollen.
Yeah, it'll set you
for
off.
pollen to be ranked 2 in that equation is pretty big. The other thing you brought up is, I don't know why I thought about this, but so a buddy of mine back in Chicago, single, and he's dated a lot.
He's outside.
He's not really, but he's.
You said he dated a lot, so he's outside.
So we're talking the other day, and he's like, I'm kind of done. I'm done. I'm just tired. I don't want to do it anymore. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just kind of done. He goes, and he just starts dropping these lines like, I just like to stay in bed and watch TV, and I'll go out to dinner, but I don't feel like going to a movie or anything like. And I said, you know what? Write that on your profile. See how that works for you. I like to lay in bed and watch. Hi, my name is so and so. I'm a nice guy. This is what I like to do. I like to lay in bed and watch TV. I will go out to dinner if I'm dragged. I like to be home by 9. I don't really want to go to a movie. I'm just tired. Like, put that
may
on the
appeal to some people.
And see if that honesty and transparency gets anything. Because what you're going for is a like-minded individual.
Yeah.
You don't want this polar opposite.
Of course.
You don't want to deal with the Belichick-Jordan thing, which I've got another take on that in a minute.
Oh, no.
But I think that what you're trying to do is, unless there's a Jordan Hudson out there for you, you need to go after, you need to draft for fit and need versus want.
You need another introvert. That's what he needs.
He's been drafting poorly.
Yes.
He's he's getting caught up in the flash, the style. Get this person into. We get this. Get her into camp. We can coach it up. Yeah. Forget about coaching it up.
I'm not mad at him at all.
Draft for fit and need.
Because
period.
I was kind of the same way when I was out in the streets. Like I'm out.
Past tense.
I'm out. Yeah, past tense. I'm out of here early. Like, let's go.
Ice man, cooling off.
I'm on ice right now. When it comes to the streets. One of my boys is out there right now. He's dating. He got his heart broke a little bit. He played the same card, like, I'm done, I'm hanging it up. A few weeks later, I'm asking him, what's going on with your dating life? Yeah, I'm still on these dating apps. And now he's met a lovely lady, and I'm happy for him, and they're progressing very well. But your boy, I'm all good with that because there are a lot of people out there that would like to be his partner. There's people out there, hey, let's go to dinner and let's come home. Let's go out on Saturday for brunch and let's come home and take a nap. You just can't have the extrovert. You need to have the introvert if you're him.
My advice to him was this, very simple. Quit taking the best athlete on the board. Draft for need and fit.
It's hard to do.
That's it.
It's hard to do.
I know.
So it's hard to do.
The number 2 thing is this. I think I'm now tipping back into the pool of this is Bill and Jordan against the world.
Oh.
That's the T-shirt. You've seen Ohio against the. It's Bill and Jordan against the world. Mm-hmm. They've got to go full Shania Twain here. Still the one. People are betting against us. That's their theme song. You hear me, TLC? That's going to be their theme song.
Oh, man.
Shania Twain, still the one. Because what they're trying to do here.
Yeah.
Did you guys read the article? Article. No. That's a little old school.
Reading.
Did you read the story? Can't believe I just said article.
Still articles out there. You're good with article.
Article? Yeah. Isn't that like newspaper?
No.
Yeah, they do exist.
Yeah.
But when I say article, don't you think newspaper versus
My
online?
My mind didn't go to that.
On the line. Okay,
no.
Good. All right. This is the headline. Impressively, Jordan Hudson, whose mom owns a sex toy shop, has amassed a $9 million real estate portfolio since she started dating Bill.
She's leveling up. She's cashing in. I'm not mad
I'm going to make the assumption she has a real estate license. Did he connect her with some big realty company?
I don't know.
Montana Realty Company? Did that happen?
I don't know.
$9 million.
Listen, there are people out there that believe that she's using Bill right now to get to these financial level ups that you're talking about, get in the public eye, which she is. And so we've seen this happen before. It would be nothing new to us. I hope that's not the case. We can't have old Bill Belichick getting his heart broke over there in Chapel Hill, or Chapel Bill as they're calling it.
By the way, not only does her mom manage this toy shop, apparently it's a toy shop and museum.
Used toys? Is that what's in there?
Maybe it's like the Cooperstown of toy shops.
I don't need to be there. I don't know. What does that room smell like?
I don't know.
What's going on?
You finally, when you send that bat off to Cooperstown, it may be going to Cape Cod. Exactly.
So the mom owns a sex toy shop.
And museum.
And now you're saying Jordan is a real estate agent.
Quietly amassed a $9 million real estate empire since hooking up with the 73-year-old. That's what it says.
They've been dating for what, a year and a half? Less than that? And she's already racking up almost $10 million?
They need to prove everybody wrong. It's Bill and Jordan against the world.
What do you mean prove everybody?
She can sell those T-shirts in her mom's shop. B&J against the world. Like, this is it. It has to happen. Right. And go full Shania Twain on this thing. Still the one. They're betting against us. You're the one I run to. The whole thing.
I don't think this is making it to bowl season. I don't think this is making it to bowl season.
Well, that's post 20. That's 26.
Yeah.
You're saying it's going to get to 26.
No. I'm going under on that.
Well, when is bowl season?
It's so spread out now. Yeah. It's
playoff starts in
everything's
December.
Extended out now.
Well, there you go. So she doesn't necessarily need his money, is my point.
Not anymore. She's got the money now. We'll see how committed she is. I hope she is.
She's a money addict.
Maybe she'll inherit her mom's store.
Yeah, you really threw me off with the whole museum thing. That's
the museum part is where you really want to.
Are they got a whole Wilt Chamberlain shrine?
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, Will was getting busy.
Speaking of museums, it's a Gold Jacket Thursday. Hall of Fame up in Canton. Bruce Matthews.
Okay.
A mountain of a man. First family of football. I'll need an updated family tree when I talk to him. And he'll join us at 2:30 from Canton. You'll have a chance to go meet and greet with him this weekend. But that will be a fun conversation. We'll get into a lot today and coming back, and we'll hit with Ryan Day. And I thought about this before the show. I feel like he's got to build a sequel now to a great sports movie. The analogies that he's been dropping lately have been nothing short of awesome.
Yeah, he's been locked in.
And so I feel like if last year was the great movie of all time, what is he going to do for a sequel? And I think last year's team certainly has its own movie. And I'm wondering whether this could be where nothing will ever be as good as the original. You'll hear from him next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. My guys and gals at Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings in Dublin. They are your Central Ohio dealer for Weaver Barns. They are the leaders when it comes to getting a barn or structure for your property. Maybe you need a garage, a little tiny one, or one with living spaces and a workshop and everything. Get a garage so nice you could live in it. That's what I do. I live in my garage. No, I don't. Getchy's Amish Country Furnishings in Dublin. Or go to AmishCountryFurnishings.com. Promo code LIVE in your garage. Not really.
Many drugs, like cocaine, methamphetamine, and non-prescription pills, are often cut with dangerous opioids like fentanyl. As a result, nearly 14 Ohioans die daily from unintentional overdoses. That's why it's important to carry naloxone, such as Narcan, a life-saving medication that blocks the effects of fentanyl and other opioids. Over the last 5 years, naloxone has saved over 83,000 lives. Help save lives and visit naloxone.ohio.gov to learn more and find free naloxone. Remember, if you see an overdose occurring, always call 911.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Two men, one is very white, fat, and bald. The other is not very white at all. Delightfully husky and getting bald. They have a radio show. It's good. T-Bone and Tybus.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 starting May 12th.
The Fan.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at a stormy Thursday forecast. Highs in the 80s this afternoon. Scattered showers and storms possible throughout the day. The best chance for severe weather will be the afternoon and evening. We have a 10 TV weather impact alert day in place, so stay weather aware. Storm chances start to dwindle tonight, but they come back for Friday. Could see a gusty storm out there as well. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony used to ski in his jeans? Are you serious? No, he's not from New Jersey. Back to Rothman and Ice.
All right, back at. We'll have Stephen Means on. Affectionately refer to him as Natron on this show at 12:30. We'll talk Buckeyes with him and what they have in store for 2025. It's hard not to just turn the page completely. It was one of the more unprecedented runs. It happened in the first expanded playoff. They were doubted. I said this after it happened. Actually, I said it before it even happened. That sometimes what you hope for, you'd never get. This is like the combination that comes along once in a Halley's Comet, where you may be the most talented and also doubted. That's a rare combination. And Ohio State had it last year. Now, what they did with it was up to them. Because I said it 100 times. They weren't a broken football team. They weren't. They were dragged into a rivalry game, and they were, for lack of a better phrase, they were out-schemed, out-executed, and Michigan did it on their terms, and they won that football game the only way they knew how to win it. Low scoring. And so when Ohio State left that game, there were so many doubts, and I think most of the doubts came from, and you can tell me how you feel about this, Maddie, because maybe some people did look at them as a fraudulent team. I don't know. I never did. I always thought they weren't broken. They lost a massive rivalry game that came with intense pressure, and the weight of that definitely affected how it was coached and how it was played. Mm-hmm. End of story. They had the 3 weeks to get it right. I've also said that you couldn't have done that with just any team. I'm not talking about just any talented team. I'm talking about any team that is talented, you couldn't do that with. You had to have full investment. You had to have seniors. You had to have guys that had one last shot at winning something. You had to have the expanded playoff. You had to have a runway. You had to get the home game perhaps, because as I pointed out, this team, this program hasn't lost 2 straight home games since back in the 80s. And so they had to have a lot going. And then set up this pod for me, Maddie.
So Josh Pate, who does a awesome job covering college football over at CBS, he was in town, I believe, yesterday or the day before, and he sat down on his show/podcast and caught up with Coach Day. And he asked him about that Tennessee, Oregon back-to-back games for them and how they just dominated both the Ducks and the Vols, and when Coach Jay knew that his team was really locked in and ready to cook the rest of the way.
When do you know, well, we're about to tilt this thing, or we're on the precipice of tilting this thing in a pretty ugly fashion?
Yeah, so the Tennessee game is when we came out of the locker room, and there was some orange in the crowd, and I think everybody in that stadium felt like our backs were against the wall, including us. And at that moment, it could have gone one of two ways, and our guys just went wild. And during the warm-ups, and I said, okay, at that point I knew we were in a good place. And then just the way we came out and played early in that first quarter, you knew we weren't going to be denied. And there was just so much pent-up stuff coming over those 3 weeks after the last loss. I mean, just an angry group of guys playing that way. But then going into the Rose Bowl, now it's all kind of coming together here, and you get like a 10-day window. We had a good friend of ours who was in the Navy SEAL, who we spent some time with, Clint Bruce, talk about how in hostage rescue, when you walk into a room, if someone goes right, you go left, someone goes up, you go down. And he was explaining, when things are all in motion and everyone's kind of moving in the right spots and everything is going together just right, he says, I would feel bad for the enemy, There was a point in that game where I felt like that was the case. Everything was just right. Everything was moving right. And you can feel that synergy as a team, in your preparation, your walkthroughs, the way we traveled, the way the guys handled the media. And then as we got on the field, you could just kind of feel that confidence.
Listen to the way he talks about this team. He'll never not get tired of talking about that. Why would he? The only difference now is he has to turn the page, which he has. But when people ask him about it, he's more than willing to revisit it. And like I said, I think that last year, similar to how I look at the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets didn't win a title. They didn't even make the playoffs. But I feel like they got over, they did something this year that was very much in doubt. That they could come together as a heartbroken team where tragedy fell upon them. And the emotions are going to be different from last year, this season to next season. I think the same for this team. There's a lot to prove. There's a new quarterback. There are new coordinators. It's a different schedule. There's certainly the weight of Michigan that's still on them. And so it's interesting to me. He has talked about this. Last year was a movie. The way they won, how they lit the fuse in that first drive of that first game against Tennessee. He talked about the anger, Maddie. That's the one thing he doesn't have with this team. There's really nothing. This team has to form its own anger, its own hunger. Now, I guess you could say living up to last year is a little bit of hunger and motivation. Like the bar's been said, that now this team isn't the one. But you know what this team is? And this team has something that last year had that didn't get it done. This team, this group of guys, can be the one that stops the slant to Michigan. This is the team that stops the slide. You can be the ones that turn it back the other way. Now, I know we're not talking about that loss to Michigan, 13-10, but the moral of the story is they were the last team standing, and in this era, that's all that really matters. But in Columbus, Ohio, it isn't. It isn't. It matters so much more to have it be not have a red L against that team as part of any title run or any run. And so, Maddie, that's what this team has. The sequel, whatever it's going to be, is not going to be as romantic probably as the original. I don't think it can be. I don't think you can create that again.
Just based off of the adversity that team last year had to go through, it's going to be, no doubt, very hard to recreate that. And, we came out of that unfortunate Michigan L again last season, and, we were pretty tough on them because it was head-scratching to see a team that was so talented play a style of game that didn't necessarily fit them because they were a Ferrari, and they showed that in the playoff that we can get up and down, be explosive with the playmakers that they had. And for whatever reason, it just was not in the cards that day for the coaching staff, the players to figure it out on the fly or adjust to whatever Michigan was doing. That's been the case, unfortunately, for the last few years. It was never about talent coming out of that game. It was what type of mental toughness does this team have? We know that they can compete at the highest level. We saw them go out to Eugene and bang with one of the best teams in the country. Unfortunately, it didn't go their way at the end, but this was never like, okay, they can't hang with some of the best teams. You go on the road to Penn State, you put up that great red zone stop. The defense shows, hey, if it's on us, we can hold it down too and come out with a win. And so the regrouping was, to me, the most impressive part of what happened last year, because I don't know if there's a lot of teams, whether they're veteran teams or young teams, that can get off the mat the way that they did, because the noise was just so loud around them because of not only the Michigan stuff, but the noise that was out there prior to the season kicking off, with everybody crowning them as one of the best teams that they've ever seen on paper. And they answered the call. And then we got the Jack Sawyer Players Tribune piece that kind of took us inside of what was happening over at the Woody. And just one snippet of it from Jack was, guys were upset, frustrated, tempers flared, it got heated, some difficult questions were asked, and no one shied away from any of them, especially not Coach Day. And that's such a credit to him. When you consider the circumstances, we could quit like we knew everyone wanted us to, or be the best team in the country like we know we are. We chose option B. Great stuff from Jack, and that's exactly what we saw, because that Tennessee and Oregon game that Josh Pate asked Coach Day about punched him right in the mouth twice. 21-0 versus Tennessee, 14-0 versus Oregon, both in the first quarter of those individual games. And then we were all like, okay, this team is here. This team has put that game behind them, and they are so locked in, and they're going to take that mental toughness, the anger, pair that with their talent. And that's what we saw all the way down from Tennessee to Notre Dame, and the confetti started to fly.
Yeah, I have a little different perspective on what I thought after the game, because after the Michigan game, I thought none of that really mattered. The fight, the flag planting, none of it mattered. And I came in on the air that Monday and said, there's no fifth quarter in the parking lot. That doesn't count. If you want to play a fifth quarter, you can do it, but they're not going to be willing participants. So, and then I started talking to some friends of mine, and this perspective came up. And there's no science to this. If the pseudo flag planting going to the middle of the field, Michigan doesn't do that. So there's no fight, right? There's no scuffle afterward. Mm-hmm. There's no Jack Sawyer moment. There's none of that. And they go down and sing Carmen, Ohio. do we have the same motivation, same mentality? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
But I don't think you have 100% of it. I do think that was part of that. It's weird. I think that not only Michigan beating you should light the fuse anyway. That should be all you need. But it's like I felt like they just put lighter fluid on an already combustible thing. And I think that the pride was always going to be there. But I think it kicked in a mentality of the anger that Ryan Day just talked about, I think is real. I think that's just a cliche. They would have been disappointed, angry, mad, whatever word you want to use to describe post-Michigan. But I do think the fight, I think that the way Jack Sawyer reacted, how much that bothered him, the insult to injury, the sticking the knife in and twisting it, like I think that bled into the team. Now, it had to be him. It had to be a guy like that. Homegrown, local kid, leader, great player. Like, he had to check all those boxes, and he did. And I think that once they got the home game, and you heard Ryan Day mention, we saw some orange. It was more than some. And there was thought that there was blood in the water. All that worked for them. They're too talented to get rolled.
They had dudes on Tennessee's side of things coming out shirtless in warm-ups, letting you know we're comfortable out here. Now,
for about 3 minutes.
They didn't buy it, but that was the confidence that Tennessee came in to the shoe with, is that, like you said, AR, we smell some blood in the water. And this team that was touted as one of the best rosters of all time, I don't know if they're that good. And Ohio State, they said, okay, y'all going to learn today. Y'all going to learn today, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, and it's a lesson for Tennessee, too. And that you may think you're better today. Don't say it. Go do it. And you're right. They took their shirts off for about 2 minutes for the photo op, and then they're back on, and
they got crushed.
Now it's real again.
Yep.
We come back in 2 minutes with Stephen Means, Cleveland.com. And this Ohio State team and the sequel, the challenges that lie ahead. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Mother's Day is coming up fast and you don't want to drop the ball. Show the incredible moms in your life how much you love and appreciate them with a thoughtful gift from Pro Flowers. Ordering takes just minutes, and Pro Flowers' large selection of modern arrangements at affordable prices are sure to make you look like a gift-giving pro. Visit proflowers.com/sports or use the code SPORTS at checkout for $15 off your Mother's Day order. All Pro Flowers orders are backed by our 7-day freshness guarantee, so you can gift easy with Pro Flowers.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing. Call 1-800-COOLING.
Mother's Day is Sunday, May 11th, that one very special day when you can show Mom how much you appreciate everything she's done for you. What says love and appreciation more than a beautiful flowering gift from Oakland Nursery? Hanging baskets exploding with spring color, hand-potted roses in thousands of varieties, and lovely annuals for a beautiful garden. Show your love and appreciation for Mom with a trip to Oakland Nursery. For 85 years, moms throughout Central Ohio have looked forward to Mother's Day gifts from Oakland Nursery.
I'm back to doing what I love and more, thanks to the Good Feet store.
Don't let bad feet stop you from being active and getting healthy this year. Trade in your bad feet for good feet at the Good Feet store.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Matty is a diehard Reds fan. I mean, where else is he going to go? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Speaking of that, Matty, I made the Ohio swap today. I'm sitting McLean, 1 for 8 McLean.
Yeah.
And I'm going with Feast or Famine Manzardo.
So that means Matt McLean will cook on your bench today.
Probably should. He did get a swiped bag. And I know Manzardo's either going to go 0 for 4 or hit a home run.
Yeah.
But this is where we are. So we'll be watching that this afternoon. Our friend Stephen Means, affectionately known as Natron on this show, Cleveland.com, covering the Buckeyes like nobody else. And he's with us now on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Stephen, how you been, man?
I've been good. How you guys been?
Outstanding. Let's so now that kind of spring is in a box, kind of take me into your mindset right now of going into the fall. What is your biggest question? I know quarterback sounds probably too obvious and cliche, and I'm not going to tell you can't say that, but the deeper questions about what could make this team. This team's the favorite to win it all. First of all, are you surprised about that?
No and yes. If that's an actual answer there, I think there's enough new in college football. There's this thing about college football, and I've learned this since I've been covering it. Every 3 or 4 years, the entire sport just presses a reset in terms of the stars. Everybody's rostered of teams that we think are national championship rosters. They all kind of reset. It does feel like that's happened this year, especially at Ohio State, maybe more than ever. I mean, you just had 14 guys get drafted. I mean, that's the most reset I've ever seen there. So at the same time, though, they have the 2 best players in the sport, Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. So if you feel like there's that much new and so many questions about everybody, then you go with the team who's the reigning national champions, who also has the 2 best players in the sport.
I was very curious to get your thoughts on the Bo Atkinson addition, because that pass rush came to life last year. Jack, JT, Tyleek, those dudes were locked in, and it showed in the results of the NFL draft, and Tyleek being a first-round pick. But seems to be some decent excitement coming out of the building over there about Bo Atkinson and what he can do. What do you know about him as a player right now, and what type of role do you think he could have within the defense next year?
I mean, yeah, he's got more snaps, more sacks, more stats than everybody else in that defensive end room combined, and that's including Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry and C.J. Hicks. He's coming off a year where he had 7.5 sacks. I don't know if they had to go get Bo Atkinson. I think that most of us maybe felt pretty good about a room where Kenyatta Jackson and Caden Curry, who had been patiently waiting their turn behind Jack and JT all these years, are ready to maybe explode this year. C.J. Hicks is playing the position C.J. Hicks was always meant to play finally. Logan George, you are hearing good things about him coming out of spring practice. You got true freshmen like Zion Grady, a top 100 recruit out of Alabama. Maybe you liked what you had, but this seems more like a cherry on top for a position that I don't know if you needed to add somebody, but when there's a guy who had 7.5 sacks in the transfer portal and he wants to come to your school, you go get that guy. And now if you felt pretty good about the defensive end depth, I think you probably feel ecstatic about where it is between Atkinson, Jackson, Curry, and Hicks. Plus, if you add in, maybe they might do some interesting stuff with Arvell Reese this year. I don't think Ohio State's going to have a problem getting after the passer. I think the bigger concern right now is, can they stop the run, which is where the defensive tackle depth maybe becomes a bigger question mark than defensive end depth right now.
Stephen Means with us talking Buckeye football here on Rothman and Ice. I mentioned this to Maddie the other day. Could there be a thought process in Ryan Day's mind and Brian Hartline's mind that they would start the quarterback against Texas that they need to start versus who they may want to start? And I'll tell you the difference for me. That Texas game can provide so much to someone's development for a lot of learning, experiencing that right out of the gate. And what I mean by that, could he start a guy that he feels needs to play in that game because he's the guy he wants to have all season versus a guy he thinks may be better just to win that specific game, or no?
I think this is an interesting conversation now that we live in this version of college football where one loss doesn't kill your whole season.
Right.
I think if you would have asked this question 2 years ago when it's still, listen, if Ohio State loses a game, it's not a guarantee they're going to make the college football playoff. If they lose 2 games, they're definitely not making it unless something weird happens at the end of 2022. Right? I think you can maybe be a little bit more open to stuff like that. But at the same time, it's a conversation. I don't know if it's something you can go full-fledged with, because what does that say? Right? What if the guy you want to start right now shows you a little bit more and now he becomes the guy you need to start? What if the guy you need to start? It's kind of a balance that you have to push here. I just think this season, Day's had 2 different types of season openers. He's had the 2019 what Justin Fields got dropped into, what Will Howard got dropped into this year, where you're playing a lower-level program where the quarterback can go out there and make mistakes if he needed be, but you're not really ever worried about the win. You're going to win by 3 scores at least. But then you've had what C.J. Stroud got dropped into in 2021, having to play on the road on a Thursday night in Minnesota. What Kyle McCord got dropped into, right, in 2023, having to play a road game against Indiana. What C.J. Stroud had to do his second year as a starter when they play a top 5 matchup against Notre Dame in week 1. This is all that on steroids, because these guys have played a total of maybe 85 combined snaps. You don't know much about them, and they're going to have to play a team they literally just beat in the playoff 8 months before. I don't know if Day will feel comfortable with that idea of this guy's maybe more ready right now, but this is the guy we're going to start long term. I think you just got to go out there and pick your guy, have faith in that guy. It doesn't mean the other guy can't have a role, but pick your guy, have faith in that guy. Best case scenario, you win that game, and then you come up for air. Worst case scenario, you lose that game, you come up for air, and nothing's changed. You might see this team again in January.
Yeah. You know, Coach Day was talking to you guys over there the other day, held a press conference, and when he was asked about the offense, he went down the road, and I'm paraphrasing, he, kind of said, hey, we have some different weaponry to use this year. And I think there was even a follow-up question after that, and pretty sure he brought up Max Clare and maybe the impact he could have. We saw him have that splash play in the spring game. But when you look at the weapons, when we get past Jeremiah and Carnell Tate, we know those guys are going to be tremendous pass catchers for them. But Max Clare, guys in that tight end room, do you see a pathway for them to be household names or consistent playmakers for whoever the quarterback is this season?
I would love to be able to say that. I just don't know if I can, slam the table for it. And it's not because of the talent. I think Max Clare can do what Colston Loveland did at Michigan last year, where he had like 500-something yards and a score and ends up being a first-round draft pick. I think he can do what Tyler Warren did at Penn State last year, where he had 600 yards or something and a couple scores, and he's a first-round draft pick. I think there is a world where Max Clare doesn't have to have the Brock Bowers level production at Ohio State and be a first-round draft pick. And the reason I think that is I think he's that good of a weapon. I think he's here to learn how to do the other thing tight ends have to do, and that's block. But it's just the hierarchy, man. Jeremiah Smith, Carnell Tate, Emeka Buka, the number 19 pick in the NFL draft, he just told us at the Combine, the dude who's taking his job this year, Brandon Ennis, is just as good as him. That's all I need to hear. Top 20 pick telling me that the next guy's probably the top 20 pick too. So you add him into that mix. So the running backs get involved. Dave's right. They have – I brought up 2021 before I bring it up again. This is the most options they've had in terms of people who they can get the ball to, I think, in the Day era. And that's coming off of what they had last year with 2 great running backs and 3 great receivers. I think they might have 4 or 5 great receivers. They might have 2 or 3 great running backs. And then obviously Max Clare, maybe Jelani Thurman takes a step, Will Kazmarek, Bennett Christian. There's just so many weapons all over the place that it's hard for me, especially at a position that historically Ohio State has really never gotten them the ball in a big way unless some injuries happened, which is why Cade Stover had the 2 years he had. Jackson missed 22 and Emeka missed a lot of 2023. It's hard for me to see him having a big number year, even if it's a great impact year.
Well done, my man. Always enjoy our conversations. Thanks for making the time for us. We'll reach out again soon.
Anytime, guys.
Thanks. Stephen Means, Cleveland.com, covering the Buckeyes on the beat on the Bryant Heating Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. All right, we switch back, and one of the big supporters of Shedeur, an analyst, who had some pretty harsh things to say while he was slipping, may be changing his tune. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle of the night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. you can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Need a new heating or cooling system? Booking a free in-home estimate with Logan Services is easier than ever. In just minutes, you can schedule your appointment on our website. It's fast, simple, and hassle-free. Book a time that works best for you. We offer appointments throughout the week and on weekends. And next-day installation is available now. When you need help, we're here for you. For the home of fast, friendly service, Logan Services.
Common Man and Timmy are hosting afternoons together. Best friends. Lots of jokes none of us understand. Not safe for work Instagram models. God help us.
Help! What should we do? Weekdays at 3, starting May 12th.
The Fan.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy.
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Ohio Heating and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Anthony finally hit a hole-in-one.
It's in the hole!
So now what? Just bask in the glory?
And that's how she wrote.
You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
So, a lot of respect for Joel Klatt. Dude's really polished, knows his stuff. But I pointed out to you guys before the draft, and you probably already knew that he played for Colorado. He was the first 3-year starter at QB for Colorado since Cordell Stewart. And he was a great athlete, played minor league baseball for a couple of years. And he was drafted into the MLB as a third baseman. But he was a great story. He walked on at Colorado. And now he's a highly respected analyst, and he's on the biggest games for Fox. But I think he had a little bit of Colorado bias going, and why not? He's emotional about it. He knows the kid more than most. And so when he was talking up Shedeur, it was kind of like, okay, take it with a grain of salt. We're not sure if it comes from a personal relationship or what he truly believes. And so we'll play these kind of in order. I think he's kind of now coming to grips with how the league, Maddie, the league spoke. That doesn't mean the league's right. The league's been wrong about a lot of guys. Yeah. We're having Bruce Matthews on at 2:30. There were 7 Hall of Famers that were drafted in the first round. You know who I think the 8th was, but not in the first round, was Richard Dent, who played for the Bears, who was drafted in the 8th round and became a Hall of Famer. And so not everyone's right. But we'll play these in order. We'll start with, this is during, I believe, the draft. And it had to be during the slide at some point. And here's Klatt on it.
Shedeur represents everything that I dislike about the NFL draft, and it's only one thing, and it's narratives, and it's narratives built up that are lazy and, quite frankly, trash. When you come out as an anonymous source about some meeting that you had and you don't think that some kid measured up to what you wanted him to be when he walked in your room, I think that that's trash. Shedeur Sanders is going to be a good quarterback in the National Football League, and I think that he's going to go and make some head coach and some fan base very happy because he's already done that in his career. And what I think is a very difficult spotlight for his dad at the University of Colorado in a program that was nothing before he got there for 2 decades.
Strong stuff.
He's not the only one that took that stance. I know Travis Kelce went on his podcast and lit up.
During the draft?
I don't know if it was during. It was post-draft. He and his brother Jason, you know, that Cleveland Heights podcast they got going on there. But he lit up the, quote, anonymous people as well that were going on record and kind of slamming Shedeur for the meetings and all that other stuff. So Klatt's not the only guy that feels that way, that if people are going to come out that strongly about a guy, then put your name on it.
I understand where you're going with that. I also believe, though, that everyone's interpretation of this can be real to them, that it wasn't just to knock a kid down, it was what they experienced. And some people have said that, like Brady Quinn had talked to people who experienced something completely different. But it sounds like Klatt now is coming full circle, that the dust is settled, the league has spoken, and the stuff you just heard, which is everyone that people's take is trash, that the narrative was only created to tear this kid down. Now he's kind of coming back to the football side of it.
So what really happened to Shedeur Sanders is that the league viewed him as a backup in this draft. And once you're viewed as a backup, then there's an entirely different angle that the teams are going to view and evaluate you with. So the league clearly viewed Shedeur's film a certain way, which is there were a lot of flaws in it. And that's totally fine and fair. And they were there. He does hold the ball too long and took a lot of sacks that he didn't need to take. And part of that, I think, from a fear perspective from NFL organizations, was that he wasn't processing information quick enough. This is what I was hearing from some of the guys during the draft as I was sending out texts. I was like, man, you tell me, like what you see. And they're like, well, processing, holding the ball, so on and so forth. And so it's like, okay.
Weird he doesn't have a problem with anonymous sources when he's using them.
Yeah, he's softened his stance because now there may be a feeling that he didn't back a sure thing. And he kind of was talking about him pre-draft as kind of a sure thing. This is what happens. You get a little more information. You change what happens to us. You start learning a little more. It changes your opinion, and you're allowed. It's human. Yeah. But that was 2 pretty drastic takes because he also, by the way, I didn't hear him talking about those flaws before the draft because he probably didn't want to put that out there.
He may have. Well, we may just haven't heard it. I don't know. I want to give him that, some grace on that side too, that he may have said those things. Listen, what he said about Shedeur, we can go down every single prospect that got drafted and identify a flaw that they have. Shedeur is not the only one. If you're Shedeur, well, let me real quick go back. He talked about how the league's viewing him as a backup quarterback, and essentially you don't have a lot of wiggle room, right, when it comes to maybe some of the outside stuff when you're viewed that way. The ultimate example of this is Draymond Green in Golden State. For years, he's been a problem. But the reason why they're dealing with it and have dealt with it is because he's one of the best defensive players of his era, and it's led to championships. That's just one example. We can all think of many guys that have gone out, done things off the field, do things on the field that aren't great, but at the end of the day, they're helping their team win chips, and they're going to keep him around. Shedeur may be that guy in time. I don't know. But if you're Shedeur, the best thing that you can do right now, as quickly as you possibly can, is make this about ball. Because all this other stuff that's out there really doesn't matter anymore.
It's over now.
It doesn't matter anymore. These meetings, your slide in the draft, none of that matters. And we're never going to know the truth. We're never going to know exactly what happened within those rooms because no GM, no owner is going to come out on record and say, this is what he was like in the meeting rooms. Do I believe some of the stuff that's out there? Sure, based off of the antics that I've seen from him. But at the end of the day, I truly don't know. And so making this about the X's and O's is the most important thing for this dude now, because there's always going to be these people out there that want him to fail because for whatever reason they feel uncomfortable with some of the things that he does, which I don't understand, because I don't know why people truly care about those type of things, because to me, nobody's really identified anything to me that he's done off the field, on the field, that is a major issue that could be viewed as a negative or continued negatives that would happen down the road. So just make it about the ball, man. That's the best thing for him now.
Yeah. The difference between his story and the other guys, and he doesn't have, you wouldn't put him in the class of character issue or something like you said that was criminal or something really stupid, or like the difference between like Randy Moss and Johnny Manziel and I'm trying to think of Sapp, Cam Newton, guys that
Laramie Tunsil
for sure. They dropped, but they weren't dropping out of the first round.
Jeffrey Simmons,
they weren't, and so
Jalen Carter,
Pac-Man Jones, all these dudes, right, who came in with severe questions about their character, but they were talented enough in the eyes of the league to say, we'll take whatever comes with it because you can help us win. And I think the reality of Shedeur is somewhere in the middle right now. He's got a chance to prove the doubters wrong. He's on the team that may have had the rights to him right away, got him way late, value pick. So now you get a guy that's now perceived as maybe a value pick with a chip on his shoulder, and you may have just done yourself an incredible advantage that he did slip. And maybe that's why the Browns eventually took him. They just couldn't ignore the value of where he was at the time that they could come up and kind of get him without feeling like they spent the world on him. So I thought that was very interesting with Klatt, how he's kind of come a little bit more back to now the football stuff. Yeah, I can kind of see what they're saying. Yeah, he did hold the ball. Yeah, he did. Maybe there were some flaws on tape. But who did we talk to? Was it Schefter, or it may have been Schefter that said, Maddie, there was a little bit of everything. Like for that team, it could have been this stuff. For this team, it could have been straight football stuff. For this team, it could have been how we experienced our interview with him. And I think what happens in this is that we feel like when a guy slides, that it must be the same for everybody. And I don't think it is. And that's why he's the man of mystery going into this season with the Cleveland Browns. All right, we'll come back top of the hour, and we'll get into the Browns. We'll stay with them. And they're over and under win total. Insult or absolutely awesome? We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The only radio show Ryan Day listens to when we're holding him hostage, making him listen to a radio show. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
Spring into a new vehicle at Crown Automotive Group of Dublin. Luxury, power, and adventure, all waiting for you. Explore our vast selection of exquisite Mercedes-Benz, the all-new rugged Ineos Grenadier, and the powerful lineup of Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram vehicles. Crown Automotive Group in Dublin is proud to be the only dealership in Columbus awarded a J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence Award for the customer sales experience. Visit Crown Automotive Group of Dublin on Perimeter Drive in Dublin or online at crowncarsdublin.com. Crown Automotive Group, the better way to buy.
Do you realize making the minimum monthly payments on your credit cards, it'll take nearly 20 years to pay them off? What if I told you there's a way for you to get them all paid off in just a matter of weeks? Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Imagine wiping out all of your credit cards. Here's where you go. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending is the easy button for tapping in to hundreds of thousands of dollars in your home equity. That's not the bank money, it's your money. Listen, your home, the value is way up. And now AFLcash.com has a super fast, hassle-free program that lets you turn that equity into cash. People who do this are living their best life, their credit card debt free, with cash left over for other stuff like home improvements, maybe a vacation. See how much money you can get now. Go to aflcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Say goodbye to greedy credit card companies. That's aflcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off. Plus, a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here with an opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th. Yes, pounds, and why not? I dropped my first 40 in just 8 weeks. It was easy, and it will be easy for you too. Take the medication-free and lasting approach. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Spring weather has arrived, and we all know what that brings. Warmer weather and severe storms. Well, when bad weather hits, we all know it can cause leaky roofs or even damage to your siding and gutters. The Roofing Guys are your local experts in roofing, siding, and gutters and more, providing top quality through every roof, every time. So it's just a small repair, full replacement, or even peace of mind. You need to contact my guys, the Roofing Guys, 614-626-7000, or visit them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. Day baseball going on right now over at Huntington Park as the Clippers are playing game 1 of a doubleheader against St. Paul. Bottom of the third, the Clippers 4-2 lead in that one. Down at Great American Ballpark, the Reds and the Cardinals wrapping up their 4-game series. They're in the top of the second in that one, still scoreless. Up at Progressive Field, the Cleveland Guardians and the Minnesota Twins play game 4 of their series at 1:10 this afternoon. Ben Lively getting the start for Cleveland. NBA playoffs tonight. The Pistons host the Knicks at 7:30. New York leads that series 3-2. The Nuggets go for the series win over the Clippers in LA. 4 games in the NHL playoffs tonight. This one's sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, call Mark Levy's office at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP, or you can do it online, sleepbettercolumbus.com.
True to his name, Matty Ice wears a winter coat in the middle of summer. He lives the gimmick, man. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Talk a lot this hour about the potential in Cleveland and I asked Maddie during the break, what number would you say percentage-wise that Shedeur Sanders is on the Browns roster to start the 25 season?
I am going to go right now. Shedeur will be on the roster. I'm going to put it at 80%.
Oh, wow. I thought you'd go higher.
Pretty confident.
So there's a 20% chance that he just sells unis that never get birthed.
AR, somebody to me's got to go. I don't think they're keeping 4. I don't think they're keeping 4. And so for him, you know, my mind goes to sometimes it's the other stuff outside of football that I think could matter to owners in a team where we've been talking about the jersey sales. They're through the roof right now for him.
Which may be the worst way to look at building your team.
Correct, but I'm not going to put it past owners that
I understand.
They're billionaires for a reason, and they see the dollar signs and they want more of them. But this dude's already selling more jerseys than Cam Ward and Travis Hunter. And so I'm going to go 80%. He's on the opening day, the week 1 roster for the old Brownies. Where you at?
You messed me up because I thought you were going to say like 98.6. I thought you were going to be...
It's a good temperature.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was taking the Browns' temperature. Boy, it's weird because we know where he was picked. We know that Dylan Gabriel went like 50 picks before him. And that's an issue. Because if you really loved him, why wouldn't you pick him at pick 94? Why would you have taken Dylan over him?
I don't think Andrew Berry really loved him. You know, I don't think that was the case. I think
neither did
Uncle Jimmy.
Neither did Stefanski, perhaps.
I think Uncle Jimmy made the call.
Yeah, he had to have.
I'm always going to believe that, AR.
Stefanski. I'm judging. I'm thinking that, well, Kevin's a little bit kind of in the here and now, but he also knows that Haslam's going to give him a chance to coach in 26, regardless of what happens. Kind of like they're leaning into 26. But you may have found your future here, so we got to see. See, the issue why I would say my percentage is higher is because if you feel that you were fortunate to get him where you got him, to not see it, to see what you need to see before he comes back to haunt you would be completely counterintuitive. You did a great job. You drafted a value pick at pick 144. It was a shocking slide. And you feel like you got what some people thought was the second best quarterback in the draft, and you got him in the 5th round. But I can't get my mind around, well, then why didn't you take him at pick 94? And it's probably your point is true, is they didn't like him enough, and they didn't like him as much as Dylan. But in the 3rd round, why didn't Jimmy force it through there? Because at pick 94, the owner can step in and go, all right, we're now at 94. I want this guy. We're taking him. Why would, if Jimmy really did order the code red, why would he have waited till the 5th round? And then not only the 5th round, they had to trade up to get him. So I can't really know for sure whether he ordered it completely.
What's your percentage that he's on the roster?
I'm probably 90%.
Okay, so you're higher than I am. Okay.
Just because if you feel like you got a credible value there, how are you going to make the educated decision to cut him without seeing what you really need to see?
Yeah.
You know who my dad is?
And preseason games, they're not going to give you that real feel of what you need to know. That's not going to happen either. And so they've really put themselves in a corner with their quarterback situation and what that looks like in 2025. Because for the life of me, I don't understand how this is going to work. I don't understand how you can have a successful offseason program, more importantly, a successful training camp at the most important position, to where you're going to be shuffling 3 to 4 different bodies into the one reps. Like, I don't see how that's going to be a successful plan.
It doesn't make sense to me to cut a guy you drafted before you even know what he is.
And that's why, to me, if you're talking about that quarterback room going down to 3, which they had last year going into the season, it's one of Pickett or Flacco that'll be on the move. And you'll let the 2 young guys duke it out.
That's right.
And you'll move on from one of the veteran guys. You'll go with the veteran guy you believe is the safest.
Well, Flacco, I think, is the safest, but you're right. Pickett could outduel him. So this leans into the conversation that I kind of teased with the over and unders. So the Browns are the worst over-under win total of anybody in the NFL this year, according to Vegas. 4.5 wins. We can debate that forever on whether they could luck into 5 wins or they're not going to go winless at home. I think they can beat the Jets. They might be able to beat the Pats. They could beat the Raiders. Like, I feel like they probably could get 5 wins with that defense if they can win 3 at home and find 2 more somewhere else. I know they play in a really tough division. They play a lot of tough teams. I don't have their schedule right in front of me because it's not week to week. It's more just home and away. But it leans into...
I think they crossed with the AFC East real quick. Just wanted to mention that.
Well, So it's tough. And they're playing Baltimore and Cincinnati twice, as we know.
Yeah.
We'll see what Pittsburgh brings to the table. If they split with Pittsburgh, like if I was betting right now, I just bet that they would go 5-12. I'd bet the over. I just think with that defense and that maybe they could do it. But do they want to do it? Should they want to do it? And my feeling is that if they cut Flacco, then they're okay with staying on their course of building this thing back. The waiting till 26. Maybe we have the future quarterback on the roster. Maybe we don't, but we're going to find out. We have to find out first of all, we don't know where they're picking next year, but we're going to assume it's fairly high. And they've got the ammunition to then pick the right quarterback. But if they don't know whether, and I don't think Gabriel's their franchise quarterback, and I probably don't think Shedeur is either. But I know one thing is damn sure, that Flacco is not leading them to anything that matters. He's just not. And I like him as the safe floor. Yeah. You asked the right question. Who's the guy that can get him to 5 wins? It's Flacco. Do they care about getting to 5 wins? They probably shouldn't.
It's because here's where my mind goes with that. When you say should they want to me the answer is no. Because with the draft capital that you have next year, you want to be as close to that top 5, between 1 and 5 next year as you possibly can be. That way you don't have to make the biggest move all the way up and try to leap over a whole bunch of teams because the Rams are going to be trying to do the same thing the Browns are doing next year. Rams got an extra first-round pick. They know we got Stafford in the house that's late 30s. He ain't going to be around for a while. We're going to try to find our guy next year as well. So should they want to win a whole bunch of games? I don't think so. I also don't know how safe Kevin Stefanski really is. Kevin Stefanski comes out and this team lays an egg and they do win 3 to 4 games. Is it a slam dunk that he's back? I don't think so. I really don't think so. And if you are Jimmy Haslam, you're going to look around and say, okay, if we don't want to roll with Kevin Stefanski, we could go get a new head coach. We have draft capital to give that coach and that new GM, if that's the case as well, the ability to completely reset.
Daddy?
Well, I don't think that's happening.
I don't think so either.
I think he's going to be a Boulder for at least 2 years.
I also don't think that it's fair to say to Stefanski that you better win 7 or 8 games or you're gone. Not with that quarterback situation.
I'm just saying, I don't know.
It's not fair.
To me, it's not 100% certainty right now that Kevin Stefanski gets a free pass this year to lose a whole bunch of games and still be the guy next year.
What think that's the case? Think was going to happen?
But do you think that's the case? That Stefanski could win 3 games and he's no doubt coming back?
Well, you're right. On paper, that sounds horrendous, but it's expected. So there's a difference between being expected to win 8 and winning 3 and be expected to have your over-under at 4.5 and win 3. So he wouldn't be drastically underachieving as far as what the experts say.
Yeah, but we don't know if Jimmy Haslam cares about that.
Now, if he goes winless, then it may be just too much to overcome from a PR standpoint. But no, I feel like the guy that may be on the outside looking in, if you wanted to play this just down the middle football-wise, would be Pickett.
You say it's not fair, but also Jimmy Haslam has been on record saying, hey, don't talk to me, Myles Garrett. I trust Andrew Berry. I trust Kevin Stefanski to make these decisions. So this quarterback room that they've put in place, this is who they picked.
But he also said we got to dig ourselves out of the hole.
No, I know, but I'm just saying he has empowered these 2 guys, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, to make these decisions, and these are the 4 guys that they chose and they want to roll with, at least the 3 in my mind, with Dylan, Kenny Pickett, and Joe Flacco. So that's another angle of this as well, is that these guys went out and identified these 3 quarterbacks and said, okay, we can win X amount of games with these guys. And if you're the owner and these guys flop again, then I don't know if it's a slam dunk that we're going to be talking about the same head coach and GM a year from now.
I feel like they're all I feel like they're somewhat more on the same page. I do. Because if it wasn't the case and Haslam didn't have his fingerprints all over this, I think that Stefanski and Barry would have been more likely to take Travis Hunter. And we need a weapon for our young quarterback or our veteran quarterback. We got to be competitive. I have to show my owner I'm competitive or I'm probably out of here. Like, to me, an owner's meddle. Owners play it both ways. Yeah, we got to dig ourselves out of the hole. Yeah, I like the trade back, but you better win if, that usually sometimes that happens, but I don't think it's happening here. I think that if they win 4 games, he's safe until 26, and they've got to see what Shedeur and Gabriel are about because they picked him, unless they just, I don't know, don't want to, but I don't think that's going to be the case. They'll
Is
have
there
to
a
see.
number? Like if it's like 1 or 2 wins? And
I said winless.
Yeah.
If they're winless, he can't. 1 would be as close as you can get. That would not be good. Maddie threw out the number 3, which is probably the great number because that's horrible, but also expected somewhat because their over-under is 4.5.
How much humiliation can you put up with?
Well, and then it goes to how are they losing, right? Because if they lose 14 games and they're 1-score games or they're in them all or they're crazy competitive, then you'd be like, okay, he's doing it with smoke and mirrors. How's he doing? Then you're okay with that. Because then that checks both boxes. You lost games, you're high in the draft, but you're competitive. I still can't figure out what Myles Garrett signed up for other than the money. I still don't have an answer to that. We'll come back. Speaking of the Browns, the forgotten running back. Where's his landing spot? Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, hiya, Phantom.
Mike, I think I saw a fox on my way in.
Oh, that was the Carfax Carfox. He was congratulating us on our Carfax Top-Rated Service Center Award.
I have always rated Tire Discounters at the very top.
Oh, thanks. So does Carfax. And not just for tires, but for all our services, too.
Alignment, brakes, shocks, and struts, and more.
Yes, sir.
But, Mike, do you think people believe Carfax over me?
Well, you are the Phantom tire buyer.
Exactly.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. And Rich and his team are ready to get you in a great new Honda this spring. Purchase or lease. He's going to make you feel awesome about your next vehicle and your experience. Grab a hold of this one, a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Lease it for only $347 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles, and only $19.99 down. He's got rates as low as 2.9%. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, as Care grew over the years, you had many opportunities to sell Care to one of the big conglomerates that are buying companies all over Central Ohio. So tell our customers why you decided to keep Care in the family.
After talking about Care's values for over 30 years, I couldn't bear the thought of Care becoming the kind of company I was warning our customers about. I know the two of you will continue to treat our customers as I would, with honesty and integrity.
We will, Dad. In 2024, Care was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining LifeSearch to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. LifeSearch featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Hello, radio listeners. The Fan is debuting a new lineup on May 12th. T-Bone and Tyvis hitting leadoff at 6. Bishop and Friends stays at 9. That's not new. Rothman and Ice at noon. You already knew that. Common Man and Timmy at 3. That's slightly different. Even more inappropriate, if that's possible. And Beamer is the new host of The Buckeye Show. You're welcome. Or we're sorry. Pick one. Get all the details at 971thefan.com.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt?
Just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at scattered showers and storms throughout the day today. Some of those could be strong to severe, especially this afternoon. A 10 TV weather impact alert day will be in place, so make sure you're staying weather aware. As we head through tonight, storm chances eventually start to wind down, but they come back for tomorrow. Could see a stronger gusty storm, but those chances will be smaller for your Friday. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Dog friendly. And if you ain't down with that, this is Rothman and Ice.
So we've all been analyzing the whole Rodgers Steelers thing, and the Steelers must know that he's going to sign, or we were thrown for a massive loop in real time. Because when Shedeur went past 21, we weren't all thinking he was sliding to the fifth round. We thought the Steelers told us that they weren't interested, which seemed very odd, knowing who they have at quarterback. And so it just felt like a situation. You're watching your Reds give up a run. I could almost tell, you know, it's so weird. I could hear in live time you reacting to it while I was talking. I could hear in my headphones. And I'm going to tell you what I heard, and you tell me whether I'm right. All right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't looking at you. Yeah. I don't know this for a fact. So I'm giving this take on the Rodgers. And I hear in my right earphone, what are we doing?
That's exactly what I said. What are we doing? All I see is Ellie booting a ball around and somebody's coming home to score.
I thought maybe you were saying, I didn't know we were going to talk about this now. What are we doing?
No, it was my Reds booting balls around and that leading to runs for the opposing team.
So,
yeah. Got good ears over there. Use them Q-tips in the morning? Using them Q-tips, huh?
That's amazing. What are we doing? So I just read this on Pro Football Talk.
Yeah.
Given the way the NFL loaded up on the Jets schedule in 24 with early season prime time, short week games, Aaron Rodgers should wait to sign with the Steelers until after the schedule release on May 14th.
Come on.
So I'm reading into that, in that if he sees that bye week's in a bad place, too many prime timers, short week, Thursday, whatever, Sunday to Thursday. Like if he sees that,
I don't know.
He should do an about face. I'm not interested.
Aaron Rodgers running from the grind? Is that what they're alluding to? That he would be doing that?
No. They're advising him to wait.
No, I don't think that should be the case. I do believe that Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, the decision makers over there in Pittsburgh, they have a soft commitment from him. I truly believe that they know that in pencil right now that he is going to be their quarterback for 2025. Beyond that, who knows?
But I used to think that right after they passed on Shedeur.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Shedeur slid to the 5th, I'm wondering if the Steelers, and I said this to you guys yesterday, are embracing, hey, let's have a losing season for the first time in 23 years.
That doesn't fit Mike Tomlin's MO.
You have not had a losing season, I think, since the early 2000s. Is that correct?
I definitely don't remember it.
Right.
The first year of Steelers football I can remember watching was Big Ben's rookie year in 2004. We went 15-1.
It's a good run. It's been a good run.
Yeah,
so maybe now winning 9 is not anything. Like, I'm not saying they would not take Rodgers. They will. But anyway, I just saw that on Pro Football Talk. The other thing that I think I surprised the loose cannon with today is that somehow Nick Chubb is still a free agent.
Yeah, I haven't heard any buzz about him.
And now, Browns aren't bringing him back. You know why? They took 2 running backs.
Yeah, I think it's a wrap. I think it's a wrap.
That wasn't the evidence we needed.
Yeah, I think you nailed that.
And the Browns fans are probably okay with it now. Last year, it wasn't so hot.
You had good memories.
Yeah.
You had good times with him. The dude was absolutely a monster for you. The pace that he was on right out of the gate prior to that injury, I thought he was on the Hall of Fame highway. Like, I really thought if he would have continued that out for a few more years, he could have been one of those guys. He could have been one of those guys, Miles. But, yeah, now with the addition of Quinshon Judkins, Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, the potential of what that could look like. You have, the power back with Quinshon. He's got some speed and some other stuff to his game, as we know. But Dylan Sampson could be that pass-catching back. And Jerome Ford's been okay. He's just kind of a guy to me. But he's had some pretty good moments in a Browns uniform. But that running back room is set to me, and I think that's fine with where they are. You got some young, fresh juice now in that room that can provide balance with some of the playmakers that you have. A sneaky signing that we really haven't even talked about over the last couple shows because there's been so much going on coming out of the draft is them bringing in Deontay Johnson. Like, if you're a Browns fan, I don't think you should have any type of excitement about that until he shows you that he's going to be consistent and be a good teammate first and foremost, because last time we saw Deontay, and I know TLC knows all about this guy and so do I, but in Baltimore last year, remember, he was asked to come into the game against the Philadelphia Eagles, and because he wasn't getting the rock the weeks prior to that, he was like, no, I'm good.
Matty, we're talking about a guy who's been on 5 teams in a year.
That's what I'm saying. And so
5.
Yeah.
In a year.
I can't think of a single other player who would ever have done that in the NFL.
I mean, it kind of goes to our conversation of that the league doesn't care. If you can help them, if we think you're a value pick, we're not spending a lot on you. We have nothing invested, but we know you were an all-pro.
100%. That's why
he keeps team all-pro.
That's why he keeps getting these at-bats. You know it. We all know it.
Let me go through
because
this. I'm looking this up.
Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski looked at him and said, okay, we've seen him in the division for a few years. Man, he's popped because he does have the talent. It's just the neck-up stuff that always seems to be in the way of him going out there.
Claimed, claimed. That's who he is. He's the streamer in your fantasy league that may never really perform.
Right.
Like, it's Pittsburgh, Carolina, Baltimore, Houston, Baltimore, Cleveland.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. And he's only 28.
Right.
Now, he's not 6'4". He's not but
when he's locked in, he's a pretty good playmaker. He really is. I mean, we had the situation in Cincinnati where the ball was on the turf and he's walking,
staring at it.
Like,
that idiot.
Yes, we have so many of these examples from this guy.
I remember that.
And so, look, credit to Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski for taking a wild swing. We'll see if it works. The wide receiver room to me is still a little bit light, but their running back room, I think, can be a force this year with the additions now of Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson. So I think you wave goodbye to Nick Chubb, and I think that's okay. I know he's throwing out these videos of him throwing a whole bunch of weight around in the weight room and all that and trying to make it look like he's ready to go, and he might be. And this is the ultimate, AR. Could come back to haunt you.
Pittsburgh needs to sign him.
Even after bringing in a young back, Caleb Johnson?
Sign him.
Who's going to be good, I think.
Yeah, I like him too, TLC.
Yeah, man.
Him and Jalen Warren.
Najee gone, even after drafting Caleb Johnson. I would do it.
I'll tell you the team that's been.
Plus, you drafted Caleb in the second round.
Third. Even worse.
Third?
Yeah.
You're positive.
We didn't have a second round pick.
Yeah, remember that's why they were trying to trade Pickens. Would you be okay with that as a Steelers fan? Bringing in Nick Chubb?
As long as he's cheap, he's just to be a rotational guy.
Yeah, I don't think it'd be expensive.
Yeah, I know, but he's motivated.
Oh, yeah.
In the division?
Oh, yeah. Whatever other cliches you want to throw out there. But I think with the Nick Chubb thing, I think last year was kind of like Alex Smith returning from his leg injury. Just like, it was nice to see him come back. And then when Alex Smith came back, he immediately retired because he just needed to prove to himself that he could do it. I think with Browns fans, they kind of got the closure of seeing Nick Chubb return from the gruesome injury against a division rival. They're going to hate Minkah Fitzpatrick forever for that. And so seeing that he could get back on the field, he got back into the end zone, everyone was cheering, everyone was going crazy. But now they're like, yeah, you know what? His career is probably over kind of soon.
Yeah, no, he's a depth piece. He's a guy that you could get a little bit out of, but you can't count on him. I agree, as your lead back. But
there's reports out there that the Bears are pretty interested in bringing in Nick Chubb, which would follow their actions of heavy on offense this offseason to support Caleb Williams. And if you bring him into Chicago and it doesn't work, DeAndre Swift could be there still for you as a safety net. But they've done a really good job identifying talent, I think, in the draft. Colston Loveland from Michigan, Luther Burden. But that offensive line on paper looks really good after bringing in some vets. So just a team to look out for that reportedly is interested in Nick Chubb is the Bears.
Listen, I'm not upset about that. I feel like I had them moving up to get Genty. I had the right team, but they went the wrong way, the Jags. And they went up instead of coming back. But there he was, Raiders at 6. Now, the funny thing about the Bears is they didn't draft a running back until way late.
Kyle Monunga from Rutgers, 7th round.
So I think that while you said that Chubb would join DeAndre Swift, and then that could be a little 1-2 you've got there. Mm-hmm. Ben Johnson loves. Now, I wouldn't compare DeAndre Swift and Nick Chubb to David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. Like those dudes are on a whole bit of a level right now. Yeah. But I like a veteran who'd be a good teammate. I think he could lead. I think he could set an example for the young guys. Mm-hmm. He's a walking picture of perseverance. Like I like that fit for him.
Yeah, in Chicago. I do too.
All right, we'll come back in 2 minutes. LeBron is done for the season. Is he done forever? You'll hear his answer in 2 minutes. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
Mother's Day is coming up fast and you don't want to drop the ball. Show the incredible moms in your life how much you love and appreciate them with a thoughtful gift from Pro Flowers. Ordering takes just minutes and Pro Flowers' large selection of modern arrangements at affordable prices are sure to make you look like a gift-giving pro. Visit proflowers.com/sports or use the code SPORTS at checkout for $15 off your Mother's Day order. All Pro Flowers orders are backed by our 7-day freshness guarantee so you can gift easy with Pro Flowers.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
No one funks up the work microwave like these two. Fish again? You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Dookie listening from California.
Okay, shout out to Cali.
And
West Coast.
He liked the analogy of when I said that Belichick drafted best athlete on the board and not for need at this point in his life. I said he took the best athlete on the board, might flash and bust. Who knows? I said he can coach her up. That's what he's trying to do, or she's coaching him up. B&J against the world. That's the T-shirt. Mom owns a sex toy shop. You're going to just record everything we say and make it into a drop? Where's the... I need the Shania Twain still the one underneath a lot of their little antics. We need to create something like that. That doesn't need to be done today. There could be something
it can't
there. Be. I don't know. You're pretty good over there.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is a funny comment, Maddie. LeBron fake hinting at retirement in postgame cashes 2 minutes in. Congrats to those who cashed. Listen, 103.96, I was wrong. Had Winnipeg winning. I did not have the Lakers going out like that.
Did the Caps win last night? Washington,
yes.
They did? Okay.
I did not have that situation. I thought they won't let it happen. Now, they came back. Luka had a back issue. And so it was a wild ride. And they came all the way back. They got within 2 with a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. Certainly the game was rescuable. But watching these dudes try to play defense, watching these guys trail back, it's like a game at the Y. Like it feels like I've got 3 guys that come into the picture when the ball's already in the other half court. It's just who they are right now. And here's LeBron when he was asked about being done.
About your end game and how many more years will we see you play?
I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. Something I sit down with my family, my wife, and my support group and kind of just talk through it and see what happens. And then just have a conversation with myself on how long I want to continue to play. I don't know the answer to that right now, to be honest. So we'll see.
Did he scratch the itch enough being paired with his son, Bronny?
Oh.
Like did they just see glimpses of, I'd like to kind of expand this, bigger role for the kid, daddy, father and son again, let's run it back. Because that was playing alongside his son, I think he's called it the number one accomplishment of his career. Mm-hmm. That's emotional. We get it, that it's not from a basketball standpoint. The other part is, and we always like to say on this program, follow the money. Now, it's weird when you follow the money with a guy who's worth more than $1 billion. So that can be troubling to try to say, leaving $56 million on the table, which is his option for next season. Mm-hmm. That's serious cash to say, I'm good. But he is good, so he's different than most all. So where are you on was that his normal, let's let the drama fill the room a little bit?
I don't even know why that question needs to be asked right now. Like, he's not going to have that answer right after the game.
No, you're trying to get him to lean. You're trying for a lean.
But you don't need to ask that question. Like, he doesn't have it figured out. Like, I would have been blown away if he was like, you know what, guys? This is it. Done.
No, but I think he can,
on the spot
you
right
want
now.
him to say that I need to. Actually, you know what you want him to say, Matty? What you just said. Guys, I need time to figure all that out. That's what they're asking.
We all knew that was going to be his answer. No. To me, it's an unnecessary question. I think for LeBron, it's not the basketball stuff has not faded away, which is absolutely absurd when you think about how old he is. And in this playoff series against Minnesota, him averaging 25 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. Like, he's still got it. So if that is something for him, as far as the motivation part to chase championships and all that stuff, being paired with Luka, he still can be that 1B next to a superstar. The roster around him probably needs to get a little bit better after the trade that they made and all of those things. But one thing that's out there for him is that his other son, Bryce, could become draft eligible in 2026. And so you have a chance, if you're LeBron, to play with both your sons, not maybe on the same team, but have both your sons in the league with you at the same time and compete against his other one. I think he's going to continue to play, AR. I really think he's going to continue to play. I think he wants to get at least one more crack at it with Luka and see what the roster can look like, because Luka is now the aircraft carrier out there, as he should be, since he's in his prime and LeBron's a 40-year-old guy, which is just, it's still nuts to say out loud that he can play at this level at that age. But I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done. I think he'll reset, go on vacation, drink a whole bunch of wine, drink his Lobos tequila, and he will be locked in, and he's going to come back in L.A. and do his thing next year.
They teased everybody. The roster was flawed. It was too much to ask. Him playing center, him doing it. Yeah. It was flawed from the start. Now, when they went on their run and there was that, you get that burst, Luke and LeBron, and there's energy, and like, wow, maybe they could do this. This was a flop. And I mean, not from a point standpoint, from an average standpoint. They both were very, very good. But I think it was not what, I'm with you. They both have to see this through a little longer to see if it could go. Because he's not your typical 40-year-old. So I don't know. You'd have to talk to some really inside basketball people to say, is LeBron stunting Luka's growth? Does he need to be his own? Do they need to just construct it around him? And LeBron needs to go away? I don't know.
They'll all have those discussions. Yeah. They'll all have those discussions. I would be surprised if Luka feels that way. Maybe he does, but I think the long-term plan for the Lakers is pairing Luka with somebody when LeBron's done, whether that's Giannis or another superstar that we don't see available. But it's also credit to the team that they just lost to in Minnesota and the former Buckeye and Mike Conley, the young superstar and Anthony Edwards. Like, this is a team last year that was getting busy in the playoffs. And so got to give them credit too. But one of the elephants in the room now is what the heck's going on with J.J. Redick? Because there was a lot floating around about J.J. and him prior to the game, walking out of a press conference, and Brian Windhorst, who has done an awesome job of covering LeBron's career in the league, was on Get Up this morning and had this to say about J.J. Redick.
J.J. Redick coached very immaturely in this series. He was still seething and upset about the previous games, to the point where Reggie Miller said on the broadcast last night he had to try to calm him down in the pregame meeting because JJ was acting, frankly, childishly. He walked off and stormed off in the pregame session with reporters. Regardless of the question, it's not the way to start. And then not only did he double down on his, frankly, irrational decision not to substitute for an entire half in a playoff game, he doubled down on that. And then in this game, he played a guy who hadn't played in 3 months ahead of centers that he had on his roster. He played Maxi Kleber. He had never even practiced with the Lakers. Maxi Kleber's on the court with 5 minutes to go in like a 2-possession game. That is not a rational decision. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even know if Mark Williams was on this team, whether JJ would have played him.
So that's been a thing, AR. Remember from his opening press conference, and we reacted to it as well, where he was dropping F-bombs in his initial press conference as the Lakers head coach, is that from that moment all the way until last night, there's been these emotional outbursts from JJ. And maybe it's something that he'll learn how to control that as the head coach and one of the faces of the franchise. But the fact that, as Wendy reported, that in the pregame meeting that JJ had with Reggie Miller, that Reggie felt the need to calm him down as just a broadcaster. He has no emotional ties to the Lakers or cares about their success or lack of success. That's stuff JJ Redick has to clean up ASAP. Because if you're Rob Pelinka and you're Jeannie Buss, the ownership group out there, and you're hearing this stuff about your head coach and seeing his actions along the way, you got to really sit down and say, is he the right guy for this job?
You're not a player anymore.
Right.
You're a coach. You're allowed to be competitive, just not allowed to have the emotions that the players have. And I really don't have, now he knows his team better than anybody, but riding LeBron and Luka, one with a back issue and one who's fatigued, does seem off, but it doesn't seem off to me when you're facing elimination.
It's the playoffs.
It's the playoffs and you're facing elimination.
It's the other stuff people are questioning.
There's no question, but I saw Thibodeau not get Brunson and, was it Hart, not get them both back in. They're both sitting on the scores table, and he's going home with a timeout.
Yeah.
And so these guys are judged from a results-based situation, but I honestly, if I'm J.J. Redick, and I want to go down with the ship on Luka and LeBron in an elimination game at home, I'm not going to crush him for that. The other stuff where the question's out of bounds or I'm going to storm off, he's got to get that together. And he's a young coach.
Yeah.
And
it's one thing to storm out of a post-game press conference where emotions are very high, but you would think prior to the game, you'd have a clear mind, your emotions are calm, because you want to set that tone as your head coach, right? Like, yeah, our season's on the line, but I'm not coming into this thing shook. I'm not coming into this thing anxious. And so for his players to see that prior to the game and feel that energy from their head coach is not a good thing. And so if I'm Rob Pelinka, we bet on this guy who had never coached at any level, and now here he is acting this way. It's not a good look.
No. And the worst look was losing at home in the elimination game. And I know they played a very competitive team. And I want to give Minnesota a lot of credit. Yeah. I thought that their emotions would say, we're going to knock them out at home. We're not, this is, because we see this all the time, where teams are up 3-1 and they don't have the same mentality that put them in the ground mentality because they know they have.
Your boy was awesome from Minnesota. Well, not only Ant-Man. Ant-Man was just okay. Rudy Gobert was going nuts last night.
You know what? It's funny. I said to TLC earlier today, I can't wait to bring up Gobert, and now you brought him up. Yeah.
27 points, 24 rebounds?
The COVID starter.
My goodness.
The liquor was on one, man.
Oh, dudes in the league still can't stand him for that to this day. But he was locked in last night.
Yeah, as my commercial goes, Rudy didn't start COVID. He just made it happen a lot faster.
That video of him touching all like the phones and the
breathing on
recorders and like, what are you
rubbing his
doing?
armpits with the cell phones.
Like, come on, man.
That's what I'm saying. He didn't start it.
Oh yeah, COVID never would have happened if he didn't do that.
But he just got it going a lot faster. Well, maybe in that room.
In that room, the rest of the league shut down everywhere else too. That's not his fault.
You're taking it too seriously.
Dark times.
I'm convinced he didn't even have it until he messed with Donovan Mitchell stuff. Donovan Mitchell had it first.
Dark times. You remember when we were reacting to games we had watched before? Like, that's where we were at. Like, old games were playing on TV, and we were, like, talking about them. Like, because we were just looking for any type of sports we could get.
The Last Dance must have given you everything you needed.
But it wasn't just that. I'll tell you what it was. It wasn't just that. That was a big part of that summer. But we had something else that we didn't anticipate. A couple things.
Okay.
We'll do that in we won't do that in Buckeye Bulletin, but I will tell you that up next, that Ryan Day, his confidence is growing in a certain Buckeye. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off, plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
It's Child's Play to donate your car, truck, RV, or boat to Ronald McDonald House Charities of Central Ohio. They'll pick it up free of charge, steer you through the paperwork, and a hefty tax deduction rolls your way as you help provide a home away from home for families of seriously ill hospitalized children. For more information about donating your vehicle to Ronald McDonald House Charities, visit rmhc-centralohio.org or call 614-CARS-HELP. That's 614-CARS-HELP.
Don't sweat it. Call Care Heating and Cooling and we'll fix your air conditioner fast. 1-800-COOLING.
This is Corey Sickles with Safe Harbor Retirement Group. We can help ensure you'll have a reliable income stream in retirement, locking in gains and avoiding downturns in the market. Visit safeharboroh.com to schedule a complimentary meeting. safeharboroh.com.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
All your favorite and least favorite fan shows are available wherever you get your podcasts. Just type in 971 The Fan to the search bar and hit that subscribe button. It's free.
We're the land of the free and the home of the sunburnt, freckled fat guy.
Do it now.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today?
My car is making this noise. Sometimes it's like doot doot, and sometimes it's like grrr.
Do you have a dash light on?
Oh yeah.
Then we don't have to listen for clues. With the free Fix Finder service, we can read a check engine, ABS, or maintenance light to find the likely fix and even recommend a local shop if you need one.
So you don't need to hear the grrr.
Not with Fix Finder. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, Buckeye Bulletin time. All right, go ahead and guess. What did you think I was talking about? Like the biggest things that got, the biggest topics that got us through COVID when we were doing the show remotely. There was one massive one.
Outside of The Last Dance.
Outside of The Last Dance, and I would even say outside of will the Big Ten play football? Like that was so general.
Kevin Warren.
Because here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Which month in 2020? Because
Right.
that affects my answer.
It was will they play? If they do play, who plays? If they play, how do they do it? Will there be fans in the stands? What sports can play? What sports can't? All, we took us all the way there. Then we had the NFL draft Zoom-wise.
Yeah.
So it was the virtual draft. Mm-hmm. But there was one other massive topic that carried us a little ways.
Is this a relationship or something?
No.
Okay.
Big sports story.
Sports story, okay. That at least helps a little bit. Did Rudy Gobert start COVID? No, I'm kidding.
Big prediction type sports story. Like what could happen.
Big prediction. In 20, is this, can we get the sport? Can we get the sport?
Is it Blue Jackets related? They were waiting for the playoffs.
No.
If you give us the sport, do you think that would be too easy of a giveaway?
Maybe.
I'm not even sure I understand what you mean by prediction story. So I kind of need the sport. And you know what?
All right. Wait, hold on.
Just chalk it up as an L for me. I'll take the loss.
It was a prediction. Hold on. This may be coming to me, TLC.
We keep just repeating the question.
True.
Did this have to do with a team or a player, AR?
Player.
Did this have to do with someone that plays in the world of football?
Oh.
Yes.
You nailed it.
Is this Tom Brady related? and where he was going.
Tom Brady was a free agent.
Yeah.
Starting in COVID. And I don't think he signed with Tampa till February of 21. The entire summer, we were predicting who should sign him, where would he want to go. It was New England's offer. It was the Chargers. It was Tampa. It was Tennessee. What decision will he make? It carried us. The most famous player in the most famous sport was deciding where he wanted to play next.
Now. Yeah, it came back to me.
That was all during COVID.
The dude made the right decision, to say the least.
But you said he didn't sign with Tampa until when? Did you just say February of 21? That would make sense, because February 21 was when he won the Super Bowl with Tampa.
When did he sign then? I don't know exactly when he signed.
It had to have been before August
that
of
season.
2020.
Okay, maybe that's
20.
Okay, so that makes sense.
I meant more the summer of 20, right? Okay, that makes sense. I will have to go. I will. You know what? That's a good thing. I'll have to look and see.
And then who was his replacement in New England? Once he left, who filled in?
Was it Mac Jones? Was it Mac Jones?
There was one quarterback in between Tom Brady and Mac Jones, and he sucked.
One quarterback between Brady and Mac Jones.
Brady and Mac Jones.
He's got some really tall hair.
Cam.
Zappy Hour?
Cam Newton.
Okay. All right.
That was rough.
Not his best.
It was rough. Hey, Ocho Cinco, Cam Newton, stars at their old teams, went over to New England and, didn't do
Corey
a darn
Dillon
thing.
did it. There were a lot of people who... Steven Jackson.
Yeah.
The Rams running back.
The biggest hit was old Randy Moss. Randy was locked in.
Trying to get the date
that year
on the exact...
His decision.
Maybe he signed right then and there.
Here's your Buckeye Bulletin. Joe Burrow and Chase Young and Jeffrey Okudah all went 1, 2, 3 in the 2020 draft. There you go.
Anyway, Brady was still picking a team, which is my point.
I remember
when we went remote. It may not have been that long.
Yeah.
It may have signed right away in April or whatever. I felt like when we went remote, that was the big question going into it.
I know we're talking like a ton about Shedeur right now, and it's going to continue because he got drafted here, which just is going to extend this for like 4 more years. How did you guys get 3 hours worth of content with one sports story?
Well, it was what AR mentioned. It not only was the Brady stuff, but we were in the eye of the storm of the college football situation and what was going to happen.
Every
especially
day.
The Big Ten, because Kevin Warren was up against it. And so for the conference and the team that we talk about most, it was just a headline marquee stuff because the SEC was doing it differently. And there's just questions about what the heck Ohio State and the Big Ten were going to do.
So every day became, is this the day? So when they pulled the plug, then it became, would the pressure to come back be overwhelming? Because the irony of all this is that...
Because the SEC didn't quit?
That's right. And so the Big Ten thought, let's be the lead on this. Let's get ahead of what we think is going to happen anyway. And then the Big Ten also thought erring on the side of player safety was going to win the room. And what they found out was that nobody cared about anybody but themselves. And if you're taking their football away versus one of the darkest times, and they got nothing else to fill their time and their emotions, that you may as well just put them in the ground. Like, it felt like that.
And what made the situation worse, too, for Kevin Warren was his son was playing down in the SEC.
That's right.
Yeah, at Mississippi State.
Down in the SEC, and Kevin Warren's coming out and putting it on pause and throwing out all these, these speed bumps for the Big Ten to go do their thing. So, it was
and then everything was going into the bubble, remember. NBA was in the bubble. NHL was in the bubble.
Yeah.
And I'm walking around Muirfield with Rory and Tiger and nobody around. Like, it was eerie. It was like a little bit of a zombie apocalypse. Like, you just weren't. The cool part is you probably didn't have to see anybody, but
I loved.
Yeah,
Absolutely
Maddie
loved
just
that.
right.
It was living my dream during that window.
No commitments
of time. Right, no doubt. Hey, fellas, I don't want you to feel like a zombie. Because if you do feel like a zombie, what you need to do is go over to the Columbus Men's Clinic. Because some common frustrations that I hear a lot from guys is, Matty Ice, I'm tired, man. I'm sluggish. I can't get it in at the gym like I used to. Fellas, it doesn't have to be that way anymore. Low energy and performance issues are not inevitable. Solutions do exist, and one of those solutions is the Columbus Men's Clinic. Something you need to be aware of are online fixes. Generic online pills are overpriced, and they're ineffective. They are affordable and accessible over at the Columbus Men's Clinic, guys. Consultation, including your blood work, is just $99 with results before you leave. Go ahead, act now, don't wait, get on over there because you only get one life. Procrastination can make this a lot worse. Call 614-300-7400 or visit ColumbusMen'sClinic.com today.
So it looks like Brady did sign like right as the shutdown was going on. So it must have just carried us through that summer that he had picked a team.
Gotcha.
I guess I don't think we had like all summer to decide where he was going to go. But I remember that story being able to carry us. And then it was all about bubble. Who can play? How can they play? Will they play? All that. It's like every day. And we thought if that was, people were listening to, maybe this is the day the Big Ten comes back. And so it was just like dragged out. We come back, third hour of the program, and we'll hear again Mel Kiper's take. Is 2026 the draft to be up near the top? Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Oh, hey, the best football team in the country's on the best radio station in the country. Congratulations, Buckeyes. Here's to 100 more years together. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know firsthand what it's like to battle through joint pain. After years of the hard hits and the wear and tear on the field, I thought pain, it was just going to be something I had to live with. Let me tell you, that's no longer the case thanks to QC Kinetics. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been leading the charge nationwide in non-surgical joint pain relief, helping over 50,000 patients get back to doing what they love, pain-free. Whether it's your knees, back, hips, shoulders, you pick it. If joint pain's been slowing you down, you need to hear about what Dr. Aaron Walkoff and his team in Columbus are doing. They're using cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologic treatments with powerful healing properties to repair and restore damaged joint tissue. No surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Just real results. The kind of treatment I wish I had access to during my playing days, and now you do. Imagine this summer playing around a golf, chasing the kids, and just enjoying a walk without the pain. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-228-4544. They now have offices in Grove City and Canal Winchester.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down, down things are up.
Sounds like things
You
are...
don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh yeah, Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic. You know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things, water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The Columbus Clippers already have a win in the books today as they beat St. Paul 5-2 in Game 1 of a doubleheader over at Huntington Park. Game 2 should be starting here within the half hour. Down at Great American Ballpark, they're currently in a rain delay. Bottom of the fourth, the Reds have a 2-1 lead in their game with the Cardinals. Up at Progressive Field right now, they're in the bottom of the third. The Guardians lead the Minnesota Twins 1-0. Kyle Manzardo, an RBI single in that one. NBA playoffs tonight. The Pistons hosting the Knicks at 7:30. New York leads that series 3-2. The Nuggets, they go for a series win over the Clippers in LA. 10 o'clock tip time for that one. This one's sponsored by RCD RV. RCD's open house is May 3rd through the 10th. They have over 650 RVs in stock. Visit RCD in Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's health care.
All right, final hour of the program, Rothman and Ice. Don't miss Gold Jacket Thursday, bottom of the hour. Bruce Matthews, Hall of Fame lineman, offensive lineman, Houston and Tennessee. By the way, USC stud back in the day. Beat Ohio State in a Rose Bowl. Came back with Charles White and the 17-16 game of the 80 Rose Bowl. And you know who the announcers were for that game?
What year was this?
1980.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
Dick Enberg, famous sportscaster, Indiana grad. Merlin Olsen, which was Merlin Olsen, Hall of Famer himself, was just a star with the LA Rams. And you know who the sideline reporter was, I believe? O.J. Simpson.
Okay.
So we'll revisit a little bit of that. It's a good question, Maddie. I think I now know the answer. I had to think about that for a quick second. So we'll have Bruce Matthews on at 2:30. So I also saw, by the way, the Ohio Department of Transportation put out a tweet today with a video, a minute-long video. When you're driving along a major interstate and you miss your exit, do you A, keep driving and get off at the next one, or B, come to a complete stop in the middle of the highway, cause a multi-car rear-end crash, and then drive away?
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
The answer is not B.
Yeah, we're not doing B.
And they have a video of that online, if you care to see. It's pretty nauseating when that happens at high speed. And then, after the three cars piled up behind the person, there's an opening and just exit stage right.
Throw up the deuces. I'm out. I'm out.
I got what I needed. A multi-car crash behind me, which halts all the traffic, which allows me to get off.
He was just waiting to see that crease in that line. Remember how Le'Veon Bell used to hesitate behind the offensive line? That's what he was doing. Just a slight hesitation, saw the opening, and now I'm good. I'm gone.
I'm not usually the old, let's talk about the mock of next year.
Oh, I am.
A week after the draft.
I am.
It's a little bit much. You're usually a guy that likes to live in the present. And so I'm a little surprised that you love this, but it is football. And I'll give you what is being predicted by AI.
Allen Iverson?
No.
The answer?
Some sort of artificial intelligence seems to know.
You know what? You brought up AI, and I thought to myself, like, would my grades have been a lot better with AI around?
You might have been able to change them easier.
Yeah, I think my grades would have been a lot better if I had AI back in the day. Baby Ched, when you were going through college, how much of AI was a thing?
Not really until the very end.
Yeah, okay.
It's kind of actually like the year I got out of college, or I should say the year after I got out of college, that's where all these reports come out that kids are starting to have their papers written by AI.
That's what I'm saying, right?
So I just barely missed the boat on that one.
I had to take advantage of that, AR.
I know.
That's too bad.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I was already procrastinating. I could have procrastinated till 5 minutes before.
Exactly.
The New York Giants are on the clock. That's a little surprising. Why would the Giants be on the clock more than the Browns?
Brian Daboll.
That may be the answer. The AI answer.
They got Mr. Unlimited over there.
Oh,
they got Jameis over there.
They got Jackson Dart.
Did you see those two, by the way?
I saw Russell Wilson at the Knicks game yesterday with Justin Tuck.
I'm sorry, not with, but also Justin Fields, and they showed him back to back, and it's like, ooh, these.
Oh, I did not see that Justin Fields was there. I did see Russell Wilson sitting next to Justin Tuck
Mr.
on the floor.
Unlimited.
There he is.
You're a fool.
So the irony in all this is that Arch Manning will come out. The Giants will be picking number one. And even though they got Jackson Dart, they won't be able to prevent themselves from taking Eli's nephew.
That would be a very, very fascinating situation to see unfold because I'm not 100% sure, AR, that Jackson Dart plays at all this year. And so it goes back to the conversation we were having about the Browns. Like, eventually you got to see what you got. I don't think they would force it.
Wait,
I don't.
He's probably going back anyway.
Do you still think there's life in Russell Wilson?
No, but I just don't. I think with Jameis and Russ there, two kind of speed blocks in front of him, I won't be surprised if we don't see him or if we see him in a very, very small sample size. Like, you think he's going to win the job out of camp?
No,
Jackson
no.
Dart?
What I think is going to happen, and tell me if you guys agree or disagree, I think Russell Wilson starts the year. They start the year like I think every team should, whether you're good or bad. You should enter the year thinking you're a Super Bowl contender. And then, very quickly some teams find out they're not. But I think there'll be a breaking point where the Giants realize the season's over, and then I think they're going to skip over QB2 and go straight to QB3. So it's kind of like a situation. Jameis isn't there to be a starting quarterback. He is there to be the backup in a game that matters. And then when the games don't matter, he will be just the QB 2 or 3.
I could see that. I see the vision that you're laying out for sure. That wouldn't surprise me. But I think if the Giants are on the clock next year, AR, you're thinking that they wouldn't be able to just help themselves. And I don't think Arch is coming out next year.
I'm just going to the hypothetical.
No, I hear you.
That if he did, they probably wouldn't be able to help themselves.
That's a wasted first round pick then on Dart. Wasted.
But you would think, right? And I'm not saying this is going to happen because you're right. Arch will probably go back. But Wilson's going to start. Dart's going to develop behind him. And the plan is not to rush this kid who played in a very quarterback-friendly offense for Lane Kiffin. And that's really, you got to grow him over time. That's it. They also made, that's the plan. It has to be the plan. Right?
Yeah, because you got to find out before you get back on the clock next year. So Baby Chet's probably right with where he's leaning.
Yeah, no, I'm in the same camp.
In time that they're going to give Dart a handful of games to showcase what he can do.
Browns, another team. Don't mind adding quarterbacks. The mock AI, Browns on the clock at 2, would take Lenoris Sellers.
He can go, man.
Quarterback, South Carolina.
He can
Dual
go.
threat.
Yeah.
With Moses Malone's goggles.
He does have those goggles on. But, yeah, you're talking north of 670 yards on the ground last year with almost 10 rushing touchdowns. So he's a guy that you take that next leap, Lenore Sellers of South Carolina, with the skill set that he has. I could see him being one of those top 3 quarterbacks off the board a year from now.
The only issue, again, is that you would have to believe then that none of the quarterbacks that are currently on the Browns' under their control, would work out.
I'll tell you this.
That's real.
To add to your AI mock draft over there, Dane Brugler at The Athletic has the Browns picking 5th next year and taking Drew Aller.
Okay.
1 and 2 on his mock draft are the New Orleans Saints at 1, taking Arch Manning. So there's those New Orleans ties.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, that goes to the original Archie.
Right. And then at 2, he's got the Jets taking the aforementioned Lenore Sellers.
So Aller, you said Aller to the Saints?
No, he's got Aller going 5th to the old Browns.
Who did you have going to the Saints?
Arch at 1. He thinks the
Saints.
Saints.
So then Tyler Shuck.
He gone.
Look at this. Look what we're doing here.
You just keep swinging.
Yeah.
It's like we talk about.
We just got him. He's
just
done.
keep going.
We don't care.
And Tyler
Take the next best.
He's in a similar situation to where we were just talking about with the quarterback situation over in New York with Jackson Dart. Is that the uncertainty around Derek Carr is going to open up a pathway to Tyler Shuck to play this year, so they'll have those answers.
All right, forget AI. What does a human Mel Kiper have to say? The human being.
I think Drew Aller has a chance at Penn State. We're not going to get to Arch. I think Arch will go back. I don't know if the Mannings will allow Arch after 1 year as a starter to come out. Peyton and Eli went back. So Arch, we'll leave Arch. We don't know what Arch is going to be. He played in 3 games against some bad teams, right? So what Arch Manning becomes, Sam Levitt, let's leave him out of the equation at Arizona State. He's only 20 years old, had the 1 big year at Arizona State. So Sam Levitt, Arch Manning. Lenore Sellers at South Carolina is a talented kid.
Very talented.
Garrett Nussmeier, Cade Klubnik at Clemson, Carson Beck as well. Then Nico's at UCLA, right? Left Tennessee to go to UCLA. We'll see what Nico can develop into out there. Carson Beck, what he can do after leaving Georgia for Miami. But right now, I think this is the Drew Aller year. Drew Aller contemplated maybe leaving. Katron Allen and Nicholas Singleton came back to 2 running backs, just like happened with Travion Henderson. They added Quinshon Judkins at Ohio State, and then Will Howard came in, and all this was going on at Ohio State. I think when you look at having guys like that back, should help him and should allow Drew Aller with another year to really step it up to maybe become a number 1 pick overall or somewhere in that mix to be the first quarterback. We'll see what happens with Arch.
This is what's going to happen. This year was this quarterback class is iffy at best. Mm-hmm. Next year, the quarterback return. That's next year's. You can just hear it. Quarterbacks took the year off. Not they had one drafted number 1. I get that, but here they all come.
And I won't be surprised if we're talking about 2 guys when we get to the end of the year. Because
Aller.
Any of the 2, right? Any of the 2 that were just mentioned. Cade Klubnik's the interesting one for me.
Nussmeier.
Because you like him, and there's people that are with you on that. But Klubnik's a guy I'm really going to be locked in on because coming out of high school, this was the top quarterback in the 2022 class. And last year, outside of Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, nobody threw more touchdown passes. I mean, those guys, Cam Ward was 1, Shedeur was 2, and then there was Cade Klubnik as a senior.
By the way,
there you go.
Dual threat, too.
Dual threat guy. And so it's taken some time for him to get to this point, but maybe that clicked for him a year ago, and Cade Klubnik's going to be a dude this year potentially for the Tigers.
I'm glad you mentioned him because coming up next, I'll tell you where AI has him going.
Okay.
And you will have some interest in this. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfox from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah?
Tire Discounters. And your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people, just like me, discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
May I have your attention for some important programming news? Sorry. T-Bone and Tyvis are hosting mornings, weekdays at 6, starting May 12th. That means Common Man and Timmy will share bro love at 3. The Fan.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We're looking at a stormy Thursday forecast. Highs in the 80s this afternoon. Scattered showers and storms possible throughout the day. The best chance for severe weather will be the afternoon and evening. We have a 10 TV weather impact alert day in place, so stay weather aware. Storm chances start to dwindle tonight, but they come back for Friday. Could see a gusty storm out there as well. That's your latest 10 weather impact forecast. I'm meteorologist Michael Behrens on 97.1 The Fan.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Ice, Bet365 time.
Let's do it, AR, and let them know that at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. Guardians up 1-0, bottom of the fourth right now on the Minnesota Twinkies. If you are a new customer over at Bet365, listen closely because they have a great new sign-up offer where you bet $5, you get $150 in bonus bets, whether you win or lose. So make sure you're checking out their website, which is easy to use, but also their app as well. So download the Bet365 app today. I'm going to baseball for my bet this afternoon, and I'm looking at a former Indiana Hoosier, AR, in Kyle Schwarbaum.
The big Schwarbowski.
Speaking of bombs, Big Christmas just put one into the moon. 2-0 Guardians right now. Speaking of dingers, Kyle Schwarber tonight plus 240 against the Washington Nationals to hit a home run. He has hit a home run in back-to-back games. He's one of those guys where he gets on a heater, he just does not stop for a long time. So the Middletown, Ohio product, Kyle Schwarber for the Fighting Phillies. He's hitting a dinger tonight, plus 240. I need that.
All right, my bet today was that Manzardo would have a better line box score than McLean.
I think you're on that. I think we got that for you already.
McLean is in a delay 0 for 2. Manzardo is 1 for 2 with a ribby.
Yeah. Good GMing out of you. Big Christmas just crushed that ball, by the way. My goodness.
Barreled up.
Jingle bells.
Why?
See you, Big Christmas.
Manzardo wasn't on base, was he?
No, he struck out right before that. I didn't want to mention that, but since you asked. What do you got today? You got your eye on anything? Anything good? Anything
Went 1 for 1 last night.
Yeah.
Had Winnipeg. Had the Caps. Lost on the Lakers.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Ant-Man said not today. He said Batman, Ant-Man, Timberwolves in 5. Don't matter.
I needed a little help yesterday. I didn't get it. I was kind of surprised. I feel like I haven't seen the leaderboard today down at the Byron Nelson. It almost feels like Scheffler might be a little free money, like a top 10 finish. I'll have to take a look at what that is. Let's see, top 10 finishes. Yeah, you're not getting enough value there.
Speaking of Scotty, he committed, right?
He did.
Jack's place a couple weeks away, a few weeks away.
Defending champ. Got to be here.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
All right. I'm going to let this percolate a little bit. Check out the leaderboard.
There we go. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Again, download that Bet365 app today. You'll really enjoy it. 21 plus only, must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right. AI mock. Your boy, Cade Klubnik.
Cade Klubnik. Say that 5 times in a row.
Now we can only hope that Mr. Rodgers has made a decision by this time next year. But AI has Cade Klubnik, the Clemson quarterback. Yeah. Say that. Cade Klubnik, Clemson quarterback. Say that.
Cade Klubnik, Clemson quarterback. Cade Klubnik, Clemson quarterback.
Be careful now. He becomes the Steelers quarterback of the future.
Here we go, TLC.
He made strides last season at Clemson.
You don't like him. He's
the
out.
Steelers get their dual threat who can add some stability to that QB room. That's who AI is sending your way.
Well, tell Allen Iverson I said shut up.
Here's what I got for you for Dane Brugler, since you're talking about the Steelers and the AI mock on his 2026 mocks drafts. He has the Steelers picking right where they've been for the last few years, TLC.
16th.
Right in the middle. 16th overall. But he's got him going Garrett Nussmeier.
Ooh, if they get him at 16, that'd be good for them.
So he's saying the Steelers might still be looking for a long-term option at quarterback a year from now. Had Nussmeier bypassed his senior year at LSU, teams believe he could have been the second quarterback drafted in this past class.
Daniels, Nussmeier.
That's right. We'll skip over Max Johnson.
Ryan Clark, former Steeler himself, is buying into what I said earlier. This organization has not had a losing season in 22 years. It may be time to accept reality.
They should want to lose. Like being, and I know this goes against everything that's black and yellow, but they've been a competitive team for the entire time that Mike Tomlin's been there. But since Ben Roethlisberger got to like the last 2 or 3 years of his career, they were not a championship contender.
Right.
And they played just well enough to never get a high enough pick to go get the next Ben Roethlisberger. You're not going to find that dude in free agency either. So whether it's Mason Rudolph, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, they should want to suck finally. They should want to get a top 10 pick in a quarterback draft that looks to be a lot better next year than the one that there was this year.
It's not wrong, but you're trying to do an organizational tank. It's not possible. Players aren't going to tank. Coaches aren't going to tank. These guys need jobs. So unless it's mandated from the owner that everybody's safe and we're going to, then they can't do that. So I understand what he's saying. The way to tank is to do it the old-fashioned way. Just not have good players.
Trade your good players.
Yeah.
But they're going the opposite way. They're trading for good players, bringing in DK Metcalf, giving up a second-round pick and signing him to a 5-year deal. And so what he's saying makes a lot of sense to me, and that is the pathway to doing it because really good quarterbacks in the league do not come available via free agency. The hope for TLC and the Steelers fans was that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys goofed up the Dak thing. He hit free agency. You throw a big bag at him, and he would have been
was going to be
your
Brown.
guy.
Isn't Dak supposed to be a Brown? Cleveland Brown?
Oh, that was tough.
I mean, last time I checked, Cousins was supposed to be there about 4 weekends ago.
I know.
And then Dak is supposed to be a Brown.
I know. We've had some reports out there that have been swings and misses, but hey, it happens. But I don't believe Mike Tomlin's wired that way. Cam Hayward's not wired that way. And they've made win-now-ish moves with some of the things that they've done. And so he's right. They're probably going to be in the middle again. You get a guy like Rodgers, you'll mess around, win 8-9 games, 10 games maybe.
Their over-under's 8.5.
Great, and that's where they live.
Probably go under.
They live right now without Rodgers on the roster. I would go under.
We may have the first losing season for Pittsburgh in more than 2 decades. I would bet on that.
If it's Mason Rudolph all year,
right now I'd bet on that.
I would
in that division.
Rodgers comes in, that changes it for me.
All right, that's your pre-snap read for today. We come back in 2 minutes with Gold Jacket Thursday. Bruce Matthews, the awesome offensive lineman from Houston and Tennessee, and the great stories he will have. You'll hear him next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan. Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. And Rich and his team are ready to get you in a great new Honda this spring. Purchase or lease. He's going to make you feel awesome about your next vehicle and your experience. Grab a hold of this one, a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Lease it for only $347 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles, and only $19.99 down. He's got rates as low as 2.9%. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
Get an Eco.
ECO. Aaron, which brand of air conditioner is the most energy efficient?
It's the one that's had its outside coils cleaned correctly.
Well, I can wash those off with a garden hose, right?
No.
Why not?
Humidity mixes with dust and pollen to create a microthin film of sticky paste that gets baked onto those hot outside coils.
And that baked-on stuff keeps my coils from releasing their heat into the atmosphere.
Which means your system has to run longer, which uses a lot more energy and it shortens the life of your air conditioner.
Get Eco.
ECO. How do we get that baked-on stuff off?
Remove the exterior shroud, then spray the coils from the inside out with a special eco-friendly solvent.
Can I rinse the solvent off with a garden hose?
Yeah, but only from the inside out.
Or I could just pay Eco to do it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco doesn't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every time.
Get Eco professional coil cleaning for just $468.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
All right, welcome back in. It is a Gold Jacket Thursday, and just love talking about this guy and his family. He was the 9th overall pick in that 1983 draft by Houston. Went on to play 19 seasons for the Oilers and Tennessee Titans, 14 straight Pro Bowls. When he retired following the 2001 season, there was no full-time positional player in NFL history that had played in more games. In fact, he played so long that his former USC teammate Jeff Fisher actually became his NFL coach. 3-time Offensive Lineman of the Year, class of 07 into Canton from the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Mr. Dependable, Bruce Matthews. Bruce, thank you for the time. How you been?
My pleasure. Doing great.
When we talk, you're supposed to provide me with an updated family tree.
Yeah, we only have one Matthews still in the league, and that's my son Jake. He's entering his 12th season as the starting left tackle of the Falcons. So I am now a Falcons aficionado, and enjoyed my nephew Clay's appearance at the draft last week. But other than that, they've moved on to other things.
Boy, I'll tell you, it is tremendous, though, and congrats on everything. 19 years in the trenches. How in the world did you do that for that long?
The good Lord blessed myself and my brother and Jake and all the Matthews with bodies that could take the pounding. That's all I can say.
Bruce, well, we're coming off the NFL draft, and I'm so curious, when you go through that experience and turn out to be a Hall of Famer, that journey that you go on. Let's go back to that moment where you get the call, you get the news that you're going to be a Houston Oiler, going from USC to the Houston Oilers. Just talk about that moment, what you remember about being drafted.
Scared to death. I thought for sure they were going to find out I was a fraud, and that, they were going to kick me to the curb, which is basically how I felt my entire career. I was so my dad played, right, back in the 50s with the 49ers, and then my older brother Clay played with the Browns and the Falcons. But it was like I was a huge fan of the NFL long before I ever had any dreams or aspirations of playing in the league. So it was literally a dream come true for me. And, I was going to go down there and do what I had always done. And that's what our dad had taught us. You go out there, you go full speed, you do whatever they ask of you and get it done. And like I said, the good Lord blessed us and blessed me that I stuck around long enough that people took notice.
Listen, that's an incredible, humble way to look at it, and I admire you for it, because fear is a great motivator, and it can be for a lot of people, correct?
Yeah. There was my 19th year, I was 40 years old, and a young player came up to me and asked me, he goes, man, what is it like to know that you're not going to get cut, or that you know where you're going to be this year? And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm scared to death. I believe, honestly, they're going to find out I'm a fraud, and he couldn't believe it. But I think so many guys in the league are motivated through that fear element. And, the good stuff is good. I love winning. I love making the Pro Bowl and the Hall of Fame and all that type stuff. But it was the fear of getting beat and found out that motivated me most.
Let me take you back in time as we talk with Hall of Fame lineman Bruce Matthews here on Rothman and Ice. What was your impact? I think you were probably just a freshman for that 80 Rose Bowl against Ohio State. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So give me your take on, you're late in the game. You're down. I think you're starting inside your own 20. And you've got to go all the way down there against Ohio State. I think Charles White was having an incredible game anyway. But did John Robinson say anything at that point, like anything that you recall that story and what your view and role was at that point when you came back against Ohio State and won that game?
Yeah. First, I got to give you a little background information. This is really inside circle type stuff. I took one of the prized possessions of my life prior to that game. I had a picture on the Rose Bowl insignia, the big rose in the middle of the field, of me and OJ. And it was the biggest thrill of my life up to that point. But anyway, back to the game. It's funny because that team, that USC team, was so good. And, you don't realize what you have until you get some years in the rearview mirror to kind of appreciate it. We had 6 future first-round picks on the offensive line alone, okay? And it was crazy. But anyway, back to the game, it was like, hey, this is who we are. We're going to go down there, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to score, and we're going to give it to Charles White, and we're going to win. And it's funny, I've especially gained an appreciation for that game after having Eddie George as my teammate on the Titans and how much it meant to him and stuff. And so I really, I have a bigger appreciation of the whole Big Ten now, especially with SC being in the conference.
Yeah, no doubt. The Tennessee Titans right now are hoping that Cam Ward could be their next Warren Moon. You are around Warren and his greatness and him turning into a Hall of Fame player. Talk about Warren, what made him a special quarterback in your opinion.
Well, I agree. I've heard a lot of great things about Cam Ward aside from the type football player he is. I hear he's a class dude, high character. He's actually grew up in West Columbia, Texas, south of Texas here. But, Warren, it wasn't like he had to reinvent himself by any means. He came in and took charge right away after he'd come from Canada. But the big thing with Warren was he wasn't a big speech guy. He was, I'm going to do it this way, and you guys, if you want to win, you hop on board. And, I've never seen a quarterback work as hard in the weight room, be as accomplished on game plan and stuff like that. And I know that Cam Ward had a conversation with Warren, and if I spoke with Cam Ward, that would be my advice to him is speak to Warren Moon, do what he did.
Bruce, I covered Eddie here, during his Heisman year, and obviously you had time with him. Is it true that when you were a vet and he was a young guy, that you told him to clean up his locker?
I probably did. As a vet, you earned, I guess, certain responsibilities. He probably, it was probably a pigsty.
He said he was too much fan mail. There was too much fan mail.
Well, that I believe, yeah. But he is definitely top 5 teammates that I played with. I love the attitude that he brought to the game, the toughness. I hated Ohio State, but I liked Eddie.
I get it. How long did Super Bowl 34 occupy your thoughts? In such a dramatic, tough way, but you've had such a great career. Did it stay with you for a while, just being a yard short, that kind of thing?
I will say that, come the holidays every year, they start playing in anticipation of the Super Bowl and the playoffs coming up. They will play like the comeback against Buffalo and then the 1 yard short against the Rams. And I am convinced that while I'm watching them, we're going to win those games. So,
you know what? Keep that thought.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe not. I definitely think I'm over it.
Well, let me tell you. We could talk to you for an hour. I know you've got things to do up there in Canton. I want to drive people to meet and greet with you. Certainly Friday, you'll be the Hall of Famer at the Hall in the afternoon in the Bust Gallery. Saturday, You can't miss him. Normally, you can't miss him, but he'll also be wearing a gold jacket, so that's for sure. You won't miss him. 9:15, Hall of Famer at the Hall in the lobby. 10:30, presentation to museum guests. You're going to be hanging out.
Even the Buckeyes fans, come on up. I'll chat with you.
Listen, most Buckeye fans are Browns fans too. So, I know that big fans of Clay. And let me tell you, he needs to be joining you in Canton.
No question. The reputation of the Hall is sullied somewhat by the fact that he isn't in the Hall of Fame. And I know that will be a great celebration when he does make it.
Bruce, congratulations on everything. Soak it in. You deserve to be back there in football heaven. And I wish you a great weekend, and hopefully we'll get to chat again soon. Thanks for this visit.
All right. Sounds good.
You got it. Bruce Matthews, in the trenches for 19 years. Unbelievable. Crazy. Father Clay Sr. set the whole thing in motion. His brother Clay Jr., as you just heard him talk about, deserving his shot at Canton. Hopefully that happens very soon. But what a pleasure to visit with him. All right, we will come back and tell the truth. To wrap it up, Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic. Oh, yes. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
Did you ask about Pick 3 from the Ohio Lottery? Okay. Pick 3 is a daily draw game where you pick 3 individual numbers between 0 and 9 that can be played straight, where numbers must be drawn in an exact order or boxed where they can be drawn in any order. You can win hundreds, and wagers start at only 50 cents. Want to learn more? Okay, go to OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save on fresh medium avocados or delicious honey mangoes. Just 69 cents each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
She's the heart of your home, the keeper of traditions, and the one who always puts everyone else first. In the spring, it's her turn. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. For over 78 years, we've offered unforgettable gifts for every milestone, big and small. Mother's Day, anniversaries, birthdays, and more. She deserves more than flowers. She deserves to sparkle. For jewelry that lasts a lifetime, visit Diamond Cellar on Salmo Road and at Easton Town Center. Or shop with us online at diamondcellar.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know firsthand what it's like to battle through joint pain. After years of the hard hits and the wear and tear on the field, I thought pain, it was just going to be something I had to live with. Let me tell you, that's no longer the case thanks to QC Kinetics. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been leading the charge nationwide in non-surgical joint pain relief, helping over 50,000 patients get back to doing what they love, pain-free. Whether it's your knees, back, hips, shoulders, you pick it. If joint pain's been slowing you down, you need to hear about what Dr. Aaron Walkoff and his team in Columbus are doing. They're using cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologic treatments with powerful healing properties to repair and restore damaged joint tissue. No surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Just real results. The kind of treatment I wish I had access to during my playing days, and now you do. Imagine this summer playing around a golf, chasing the kids, and just enjoying a walk without the pain. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-2845-44. They now have offices in Grove City and Canal Winchester.
Much like a vampire, we need to be invited into your house. But once we're in, we never leave. Listen to The Fan on your Alexa or Google Home smart speaker. Just say play 97.1 The Fan and prepare to be amazed. Do it now.
If you're like most Americans, you've racked up tens of thousands in credit card debt. You're stuck with 20% interest fees and even the monthly payments, well, well, they're hard to make. It's insane. Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. The good news is that there is a way out. AFLcash.com. That's AFLcash.com. Advantage First Lending. They specialize in fast, easy access to the equity in your home. Most homeowners have hundreds of thousands of dollars in their home equity. That's your money. AFLcash.com can get it out for you with zero junk fees and zero hassle. You can pay off all those credit cards in just a matter of days. Pay off your car loans too. Cut your monthly expenses by $800 or even $900. I'm telling you, the relief you need, well, it's right there at your fingertips. AFLcash.com or call 844-394-CASH. That's 844-394-CASH. Break out of the credit card debt prison with AFLcash.com.
Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1209177. Subject to lender approval. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. For all your window needs, visit windownation.com.
All right, before we pack it up and hit the road,
we got an update.
We got a red flag update.
We got an update on old Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson. And I said it yesterday. People are going to start digging in on this woman's past like they never have before after this whole CBS interview debacle. But there are now headlines out there, AR, that are reading this. Bill Belichick's 24-year-old girlfriend, Jordan Hudson, had a 64-year-old ex-boyfriend by the name of Joshua L. Zuckerman. And Zuckerman has been speaking to TMZ Sports, and he tells TMZ Sports he met Hudson several years ago, and after bonding over psychology, philosophy, and nature, they became romantic.
Philosophizer.
The two were off and on for a while, but seized their dating relationship just prior to Hudson coupling up with Belichick. He still remained friendly with the 23-year-old cheerleader through her time with the future Hall of Famer. And he said in a statement to us this week, that being TMZ, that he's been appalled by some of the negative things that have been said about his ex online. Quote, "She is wise beyond her years, much more than any 20-something I've ever met in my life. The narrative about her character is not fair to her," end quote. There you go.
Like I said, Bill and Jordan against the world. Hopefully these two kids can make it.
Hey.
He'll be still the one.
You said something like that.
B&J against the world. I did say that. So this is when Bill Belichick was first spotted in public with his girlfriend after dinner, he wanted to go to the car and leave. But the 24-year-old Jordan Hudson saw the paparazzi and wanted to be seen, stand in their view, and get photographed. Billy, I guess you're the arm candy, buddy. Steve Belichick's wife, so Bill's daughter-in-law, has now publicly criticized Jordan Hudson for her role in the interview on CBS. So this is Bill's son Steve's wife is now jumping into this. Do you have the Barkley cut?
Oh, yeah.
What did you do, bang your hand on the desk or something?
No, I'm watching baseball.
Oh, wow. I thought you went into some sort of wild gyration over there. I wasn't sure.
It was hard contact, but right to the left.
Do you need EMS?
No, here you go.
What is Bill Belichick doing?
I'm not sure what's going on. He's been a great friend for me for a long time. We've been friends since he coached for the Browns. I think he got to be very careful right now. This is starting to be on a very slippery slope. He's the greatest football coach ever. From what I'm hearing, it's starting to be a very slippery slope. And I never talk about people's personal relationship. That's another rule I got. But I will admit, I'm a little concerned with some of the stuff that's going on. I might actually reach out to him and make sure everything's good, but I am concerned from what I'm hearing.
Oh, all right, so I don't know how close of friends they are.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would have gone public the way he did and say, I'm concerned, I got to reach out, I don't know what's going on. It may be honest, but I don't know how close they could be for him to comment on that publicly when Patrick asked him that, but He did. And so people are worried about Billy.
Yeah, that he's being used. Like that's out there now. One of the comments.
Maybe he wants to be used.
Hey, you know what? Hey, to each his own. Whatever you like. Whatever you like. One of the comments I've seen floating around with this new layer to this story is, she saw championship rings. It was an easy call.
Well, she also, if you said she had a 63-year-old boyfriend and then downgraded to a 73-year-old.
She likes experience.
But you know, maybe she was drafting. She likes for fit and need.
Yeah, she likes to build her room with quarterback room with Flacco types instead of the rookies. You know, there's different ways to go about it. I ain't mad at it. I just hope Bill isn't being used in this. I hope she's being genuine. That's all I'm saying.
Would almost be more tolerable, I think, if he didn't accept a head coaching job at UNC, like he was retired, completely retired, had a 24-year-old girlfriend, wrote a book. I don't know if people would, maybe they would care just as much, but I feel like he's got one foot really still in coaching. He's supposed to take control of a program, and he's on a book tour, and he's got a publicist girlfriend, and it just feels like he is being puppeted for sure. But if he was straight retired on the beach doing the yoga, posting on Instagram, I think we would say he's living his best life.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I honestly feel like where she's doing the Titanic pose and he's on his back.
His legs to the sky.
Yeah, so I just feel like, would we look at this differently? If this was a 73-year-old man who'd done everything in his career, hung it up, and now he's hanging out with a 24-year-old girl, and he wrote a book, we'd be like, you know what? Billy's living his best life. But I think it's like you're still so relevant in coaching, technically.
It's that, and it's also the power that it seems she has, right? I think that's added to this. But
if she was calling the shots and he was retired, it's the stuff we see on the sideline.
She wouldn't have any type of things to call shots on if he was retired. Yeah,
well, she might be still running the book tour and telling him how to dress and where we're going to eat, and if the paparazzi are here, we're going to stick around. But
dress and where? What is you? Oh my God!
I'm just saying that I think we may look at this. This is this dude's taking one big last victory lap.
Yeah, this isn't her ex coming out and saying this. I don't think helps her. For the people that think that she's digging for some gold, like I don't think
she's already got that real estate portfolio.
Hey, she wants some more. Keep leveling up.
What is Bill Belichick doing?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Let's give a shout out.
I don't know. Mr. Hand, will I pass this class? Gee, Mr. Spicoli, I don't know.
Oh, man.
Let's give a shout out to Caster Connection. They sponsor the fan poll. And let's also give a massive shout out to whoever came up with this fan poll this morning. Do you think Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson will get married? Here are your four options.
We did this yesterday on the odds chart. Maddie answered these questions for you. Are there different options?
Yeah, it's not about tattoos and piercings.
All right.
Either absolutely they get married, not a chance, they'll just live together, or Bill dies while they're engaged.
Oh, that's pretty dark.
Is that shark? He does get up.
Boy, why we had to go that way? That's a little morbid.
I'm waiting all show to read that question.
They're not getting.
What's he going to die from? Happiness?
They're not getting.
Human fulfillment? I think the choice is, do they live together?
I don't know, but they kind of look like they do.
Yeah, I think they probably
What's the third option?
They will just live together and they will just date. Like date for eternity.
Feels like that.
He did that with his old girl, didn't he? The ex, they were together but not married.
She wasn't 24.
No, I'm saying, but he may like those type of relationships where don't need to be married.
I think that's trash.
You know what isn't trash is our podcast. And if you ever miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up because wherever you get your podcast, listen, all you got to do is type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3. We'll be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the pod as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. Timmy Hall, T-Bone coming up next from 3 to 6. Don't move.
Our girl Ariel is the prop queen. I think TLC is the drop king.
Boom! That's one of the best compliments you could ever give me.
We'll talk to you tomorrow. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Buckeye games have been airing on WBNS since before you were born and before your parents were born and before Abraham Lincoln was born. Trust me. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Let's go to the floor with some late-breaking developments on the markets. Jim?
Up things are down things are up.
Sounds like things
You
are...
don't understand. Right is left, lemons are sweet, spaghetti is cold, the milk is warm.
Okay, but are you seeing anything that maybe smart-minded money people should know about?
Yeah. Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Probably one of the most stable things you can do is an Apex Pros air conditioner tune-up.
Air conditioner tune-ups, you say?
Oh yeah, Apex Pros knows most expensive summer breakdowns can be prevented by getting a tune-up now.
Yes, it's known that a tuned-up AC lowers energy bills, which is important to...
Oh, this is unbelievable.
What, big sell-off? Huge increase?
No, I spilled coffee on my new shirt. Anyway, tune-up save on energy bills, plus make your air conditioner last years longer.
Good to know Apex Pros keeps things stable and predictable.
That's on my pants, too. This is the worst day. This is historic, you know that.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.50%, APR 6.56% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct